You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
It's good to be back.
In that first half.
See if the Celtics can replicate their third quarter performance from game one. Brown, high arcing jumper goes. It's a three. And it grazes the rim, rebounded by Brown. Brown, the three, got him. It's Holiday. Sets, fires, no good. Horford the offensive board. The corner J is money. And down goes Carter on the play. It's 5-on-4. Porzingis. Nobody there. Magic need a timeout.
I should open with the Rocky theme after that game last night. Kristaps Porzingis, after taking an elbow and gushing blood for a little bit, goes into the locker room, gets patched up, hits a couple of free throws, goes back in the locker room, gets 5 stitches, comes back, and does more damage. Celtics win, and it's NFL Draft Day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show. This is going to be awesome today here on the Coastal Sports Network. It is Draft Day. Yes, we will recap not just the Celtics in Orlando, but the other NBA playoff games as well. Stanley Cup playoff action last night, thrilling as always, and an MLB rundown. But we are going to be draft happy today. As you can see, I'm decked out in my Patriots gear. Angel Martinez will join me in a second. He's decked out in his Eagles gear. I don't know what Jay Flanley's going to be doing, but he'll be probably Patriots gear today. Noah Ham will probably be some sort of Michigan gear. That's okay, too. And Trevor Harris is going to join us on our mock draft. What did I call it? 99.0? I just made that up. It's a draft. At least people draft 4.0, draft 3.0. Anyway, welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network on this Thursday, April 24th. Thanks for checking me out on my Facebook page at PShep326 and also on Twitter, on Facebook pages on the Coastal Sports Network and on my Facebook page as well. Also on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, CSN Florida, LinkedIn. And as always, you can call or text the show, 727-858-6650. Love to hear from you guys and your predictions on whatever team you're rooting for. And don't forget to download the app right there, SR1029 The Game, SR1029thegame.com. Duncan Dad is headed to Lambeau Field as we speak. He's going to join us at 8:05 for a few minutes and sort of set the scene. I'll get to more of that in a second. And then later on at 8:30, we're going to do a mock draft to close out the show with myself, Jay Flanley, Trevor Harris, and Angel Martinez. So I have put together a system here of how we're going to do it. We're each going to get 8 picks, 32 picks total, and we're each going to get 8. I am going to pick first for the Patriots. Angel going to start it off with Tennessee. He will obviously pick for Philadelphia. Jay is going to pick for the Lions and the Raiders. And Trevor is going to pick for the Miami Dolphins. And also we have a rotation. So like Angel will do Tennessee, Jay will do Cleveland, Trevor will do the Giants, I will do the Patriots. I think pretty much we know what the first 4 picks are going to be anyway. But nevertheless, and then Angel will pick for Jacksonville, Jay will pick for the Raiders, Trevor will pick for the Jets, I will pick for Carolina, and so on and so forth. So we say good morning to Angel Martinez. Good morning, sir. How are you? Is this your first ever participation in a mock draft?
Good morning. Yes, I feel like a chipmunk because you called on me. I had Cheerios, but nonetheless, yes, it is the first error for me. So I'm trying to do hopefully my best for entertainment value because Lord knows I am not the go-to guru for this stuff. But
there'll be no trades. It's straight up. So you just the first round, you pretty much know the names in the first round, and then when you hear this, I think it moved. It'll be your turn, and you'll be hearing this a lot.
Yes. Although I should have, maybe I'll get it during a break. I should have wore my the original Super Bowl ring just for draft purposes. But
Dad is listening. I apologize. I forgot to put him in my Twitter. I always do an open for Twitter and Facebook and put people's names and faces and everything else. And I just had a brain cramp, Duncan Dad. So please, it's nothing personal for me. It's just a faux pas on my part. So Duncan Dad will be joining us in a little bit in about an hour from Lambeau Field. Now, let me tell you this. This is how, really quick, because these are like little pet peeves of mine in the business industry, which now I can just let loose and say. ESPN has their morning show, which actually, besides the fact when they overhype the Lakers, which is a lot, but other than that, I think they do a pretty good job considering what they had previously. Besides Mike and Mike, it has been a disaster morning drive on ESPN radio until this show with Abbott and Smalls and Chris Canty. But here's why companies go out of business. They have the three of them. Now, just think about this. They probably flew first class, flew to Green Bay to Lambeau Field, set up this, portable studio outside with lights and everything. It's fucking pitch dark this morning, and they're out there in the freezing cold, yapping away about the draft. Why? What an absolute waste of money. You don't have access to anybody. If you're going to have access to people, it's going to be via phone. I don't know. Maybe Adam Schefter will stop by. But you talk about, this is why companies go out of business when they spend money recklessly like this. It doesn't do anybody any good. Unless you're ESPN, you're strictly doing it for image, which a lot of companies will do. But look at the cost and what you're getting. You send 3 people out there, plus God only knows how many production staff to set everything up. Out, not even inside Lambeau, outside in the parking lot for what? I understand when people do this for the Super Bowl. I get it. We have as well. We've done it. It's not radio. This is for the draft. You are outside. You have access to nobody. The only thing good that happened so far was that somebody dressed in a Minion walked by the set. I don't know why. In back of the set, somebody had a Minion costume on at the time, which would have been 6 o'clock, 6:15 in the morning, their time, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. But I don't understand. There is nothing they are going to gain by just sitting out there in the freezing cold in the parking lot. I really don't get it. I think it's an absolute waste of money to do that. You don't need, you're going to have people inside the building before 10 o'clock, more than likely. You want to have Stephen A. Smith's show there, Get Up, or the other two. You want to have Get Up or First Take there. That's fine. But outside in the parking lot doesn't do you any good, especially early in the morning. They're talking about the sunrise coming up, sun's coming up, and everything. I'm like, stop it. You're wasting. It's not their fault. It's not the host's fault. The company wants to send people out there to do what? What are you gaining by sitting out there in the freezing cold? Outside in the parking lot, outside the parking lot. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, we digress. That's my little pet peeve of why ESPN has to fire so many people, because they spend fucking money uselessly on shows like that have no business. It does you no good to be outside. No good when you can't access anything or anybody. You're only playing clips from the previous days anyway. Of people on the ESPN show. So I don't know. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all.
I listen, I looked at it the same exact way, Pete, when I saw it this morning. Like, why would you be out in the dark? And the only backdrop looks like the back either of a tent or maybe the backside of Lambeau Field. But to me, it didn't make any sense either. I mean, it's not a well-designed studio backdrop, even though it's remote. But I thought, okay, you guys are setting up ESPN. You may be setting up your host for failure, because you're right. It's not their fault. It's a goofy setup. Like, why?
I don't care what it looks like aesthetically. I don't care. I think it's a waste of time, a waste of money to put them out there when nobody is there and there's no access to anything. It doesn't make any sense. You could stick them out of your backyard if you wanted to. What's the difference? What are you going to do? Grab people? It's like, no, you're not. Not in the morning. I can understand doing the 10 o'clock shows and past that. Right. I get it. Then they're probably going to all be there inside the building. But at 6 o'clock Eastern time in the morning until 10, you are wasting company money by sending people out there to sit in the parking lot, freezing their asses off, doing nothing, hoping to God that the equipment doesn't fuck up because of the cold weather. I just don't know what the deal is, except for image, which is, that's 99% of ESPN's problem. If they're not first there or whatever, then they got to be. It's the image of it. But I don't know. I didn't watch NFL Network this morning, so I don't know if they had a studio outside either or what. Even that. I mean, to be outside and outside the parking lot in the morning with access to nothing is a waste of money. Waste of money. But anyway, we digress. All right. So we're going to do a lot of NFL draft today. We'll have an NBA and NHL rundown, MLB rundown as well. Celtics got it going again last night in the third quarter. As I thought, Jason Tatum didn't play. No big deal. He's probably going to be back on Friday. Rest that wrist. Jaylen Brown, as I told you, would go off. So was Porzingis. They both had amazing nights. Porzingis took an elbow to the head in the third quarter from Goga Bitadze. And inadvertent, it's one of those things, but he was gushing blood. Went into the locker room. He was going to shoot free throws because he got fouled. He put a big Band-Aid, biggest Band-Aid I've ever seen in my life, on his head, came out, shot the free throws, then went back into the locker room, got stitched up, took 5 stitches, came back a few minutes later, and was good to go. With blood streaking, the stain of his head. They were wiping it off because you're not supposed to be on the floor with anybody that traces of blood. But it was like Rocky. He loved it. He went out. It's not the first time. He got hit on the bridge of the nose a few weeks ago. Same type of thing. But this was a pretty significant. There was blood all over the floor immediately. It was kind of gross. But he came back like a trooper, like Rocky, and just amazing. And Celtics, too much depth, too much for Orlando, blah, blah, blah. And down they went. Down 2 games to none. Game 3 will be tomorrow night in Orlando, where the music will be even more obnoxious than it is at the Garden. Anyway, all right, Angel. So I'm psyched. And it's the Shedeur. I mean, this is going to be such a fascinating draft because of the Shedeur Sanders situation. I think that is going to be interesting. Do the Giants take him at 4? I don't think so. Does New Orleans pass on him at 9? Possibly. Does he fall all the way to 21 and the Steelers take him? Does he fall all the way to 21? And by the way, I just worked out that way. I actually have the Steelers pick at 21. I'm not going to reveal if I will take him there or not, but we shall see. I'm going to be as logical as possible. So now, do the Giants take him at 4? I don't think so. Does New Orleans pass him on 9? I think they will. Does he fall all the way to 21? Do the Steelers take him, or do they pass on him? And are we not even talking about Shedeur Sanders until Friday night on day 2? I think that is a fascinating scenario. Flaky boy Aaron Rodgers is sitting off on the side, writing his hate speech to the Steelers if they do take Shedeur Sanders, how he will blame them that I was never their guy all along. They always wanted Shedeur Sanders, and that's why I'm not there, and blah, 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 blah. I guarantee it. You watch if that indeed happens. But fascinating stuff, Angel. And then you're picking last, and you'll get a good pick, too, for the Eagles. There'll be plenty of people left over. For you. So it's going to be a great draft. This is a wonderful day. Plus, you get more Stanley Cup and NBA playoff action tonight as well. So I'm very excited about this draft. I really am. And a lot of it has to be about Shedeur Sanders to see where he does, or more importantly, maybe where he does not end up getting picked.
This might be more interesting than last year's draft. So I think last year everybody kind of pretty much knew there was like no surprise moves, even though the Eagles may have mentioned they may not stay at 32. So we'll see what happens there. But it'll be really interesting because it's the same way when you talked about Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart's been another name that either he can go, interestingly enough, in the top 10 or
his stock is going way up. It's weird how this stuff happens. And I don't know who judges by whose stock goes up. I know everybody has their sources at NFL Network and ESPN. Some of that stuff to me gets overplayed, gets overhyped. Who's got this, who's got that, who's got these sources, that. So the bottom line is none of us know shit. Seriously, we don't know. Yeah. There's probably going to be some trade that nobody saw coming or whatever. There's always surprises in the first round. Always happens. So during our mock draft, if all of us combine for like 5 or 6 right out of 32, and even this year, the first 3 might not be, even the first 4 might not be. We should nail the first 4, I think, unless something crazy happens that we don't know about, like I just said. But if you, trust me, Mel Kiper only gets, and other guys, they get like 5 or 6, sometimes 7 right out of 32.
Right.
Fine. Assuming no trades, if you're just doing it straight up. And that's fine. So everybody who claims to be a draft expert, and there's a lot of people, I am not one of them. I don't claim to be a draft expert because the only way you can evaluate a draft with very few exceptions, is a couple of years in, sometimes more than that, before you really realize how good what team drafted the best out of everybody. I don't think it's instantaneous with very few exceptions. Not that first-round picks can't make an immediate impact. I expect many of these guys will. But a lot of them, for the most part, everybody that gets drafted in the next couple of days, you really can't tell for a couple of years. Unless you're around the organization every single day, you're really not going to be able to tell until we see them on the field. So,
Yeah.
this will be a lot of fun today. All right. First cut, let's get to some more NFL draft. First cut, here is Cam Ward, Miami quarterback. I discussed the possibility of being selected with the number 1 overall pick. This from Sirius XM NFL Radio.
I've always had this dream. Didn't know it was going to be football. Didn't know if it was going to be basketball or baseball.
Oh, you was like that in the hoop too?
Yeah, I was like that in every sport I played.
Baseball stuff. Okay,
On
you
the
said
diamond.
baseball too. Confident too. Okay.
I always had a dream. I already told myself when I was 6 I was going to go pro in something.
Yeah.
I didn't start taking football real seriously till my senior year, and it ended up being my best sport. And so I've been blessed, and I just think the work that I was willing to do early on at a young age, my parents pushing me to all the work that I do now, I think has led me to this point. And I'm just excited to, hopefully hear my name called early and, just get a chance to go make plays.
Yeah, he's going to make plays. He's going to get called early, and he's going to be a star. There's no question. That guy has got it. He is so poised, and he is not your typical number 1 quarterback. I mean, there've been a lot of good ones, some over. This guy is as well-seasoned as anybody. I think Tennessee's getting a stud. Meanwhile, thanks again. Now to a Sirius XM SEC Radio. Here's Chris Doring on Jalen Milroe, the Alabama quarterback.
If you could take Anthony Richardson in the top 5, why can't Jalen Milroe be a first-round pick?
Right.
Because the ability to impact a game, I saw it much more from Jalen Milroe against
10 times more.
Great competition in the SEC. It's not like he did this against, some Sun Belt competition or something.
Right.
He did it against the SEC competition. I look at experience that he's had as a 2-year starter there. I look at the way that his body is built. He's thick. He's able. He doesn't take big hits. He knows how to avoid hits. There's different types of players that understand. Jaden Daniels was terrible at avoiding hits. He's taking them standing straight up, whereas Jalen Milroe's a lot of times delivering blows, falling forward, breaking tackles. I think there's a lot of what he does that translates really well. And I could see him being a guy that figures that put an offense where he can figure it out a little bit. They work on the mechanics. He gets his passing game up, and then he can go ahead and use the legs. I think one thing he does as a running quarterback, a lot of guys, as soon as something's not there, they tuck it and run. Mm-hmm. When he scrambles, he keeps his eyes down the field. He lets his receivers uncover. Mm-hmm. He puts pressure on a defense, making them commit to either coming up and defending him or playing back, and then he takes the yardage. So I'm frustrated with some of the things that he's done. I don't think that the coordinators the last couple of years have put him in the best position either. But I think he's the most intriguing draft prospect of this year's draft.
Yeah, it could be the case. And this is where number 9, him and Dart from Mississippi, and this is where maybe that the New Orleans Saints have their eyes set on one of those 2 guys. It would be really interesting if one of those 2 guys would both get drafted before Shadur Sanders. There's a lot, and there's a lot of Dion getting too involved. And you got to remember with Shadur Sanders, just in the back of your head, he's only been coached by one individual his entire life, from Pop Warner through everything, and that's his father. He's only been coached by one guy. So, I know interview processes, what I've heard, he's been, cocky, arrogant a little bit, which is not uncommon for quarterbacks and wide receivers, something like that. But there's a maturity level that I see in Cam Ward that I just don't see in Shadur Sanders, not yet anyway. And it's going to be really interesting when Daddy isn't there to tuck you in at night. What's going to happen when he's not? His dad isn't influence to affect the team that he's going to get drafted by. Going to be really interesting. Angel, if you could refresh, I want to cram as much as I refresh my Twitter page. And just tweeted it out. And this is from yesterday, NFL on ESPN. Kirk Herbstreit thinks Cam Ward could be a big difference maker for the Tennessee Titans. Then we'll get to some Patriot clips from Mike Reese yesterday as well. But here's, should be the first story right under the show.
Yep.
Kirk, let's start with the Tennessee Titans. And finally, they think they can get their quarterback. When you look at Cam Ward, where does he make them better as a franchise quarterback down the road?
MVP and a Heisman. I think there's like,
Like
2 or 3 ever.
Yes.
That guy right there did
My
that.
guy.
I think, first of all, I think we've been talking, we've been in meetings. I think we're all excited for a guy that he doesn't come in as a 5-star, can't-miss guy. Nick Saban's not knocking on his door coming out of high school. Kind of a 1 or 2-star guy that was overlooked, and he just kind of earned everything that he got. When he got on the stage was this past year. He almost entered the NFL last year, but got a grade was second or third day, so he decided to transfer to Miami. Opportunity there. The Canes haven't had a quarterback like a difference maker since Ken Dorsey back 25 years ago, and he became the alpha of this team. And he's going to have to do that if, in fact, he ends up going to Tennessee, living in Nashville. They need a guy. They don't have a guy, and I don't mean just a quarterback. They need an alpha to take over that locker room. Hopefully he ends up going first and getting that opportunity to really show what he can do. And you can see the creativity, making things happen, not just sitting in a pocket. Obviously, he can improvise and plays with kind of that alpha mentality that you love to see.
Yeah, no question about it. Great analysis there by Herbie, and everybody's great if they agree with me. So that's a given. Anyway, but no, I mean you can see it. I mean, you look. I've seen every single play that guy has had. Not just, and a lot of them were Washington State too. So it's not just Miami, but obviously watching every single play, seeing him firsthand opening day last year in Gainesville was just unbelievable because. You can get caught up in all the hype with this player or that player, but opening day to see him perform the way he did immediately was like, wow. You could just tell, like, he has got it. This guy gets it, and he had an unbelievable season. Fortunately, the defense let him down for a couple of games and didn't make it to the playoffs. But, man, it would have been fun to see him against anybody. They may have lost, like I said, 55-54, but it would have been fun to watch him play. All right, let's scroll down a couple more to, let's see. Actually, we're sticking on this subject. NFL and ESPN, a couple down. This is, it says the reality is nobody feels like the quarterbacks after Cam Ward are good enough. So this is another clip that I think, starts talking about quarterbacks in a broader picture other than Cam Ward.
Here's the conundrum for every team and why we're having these conversations. The reality is nobody feels like the quarterbacks after Cam is good enough to take them at that value.
Here's my pushback on that. Why?
Dio, I don't make the damn rules. I'm not taking the pick.
Because we've fallen into this trap where every quarterback has to be like Lamar, Josh, Joe, Patrick, or whoever, Hurts or something like that. And if they're not that, we can't take them to the first round.
So here's the thing. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do believe you have to be a certain thing if I'm going to pick you 9.
There you go.
If I'm going to pick you 3, if I'm going to pick you 6. That's where this conversation begins. It's not necessarily if any of these dudes can pan out to be good starting quarterbacks for the next 8 to 10 years. I believe there's some belief in the Shedeur Sanders. There's some belief in Jackson Dart. Tyler Shuck is entering that conversation. Jalen Milroe is this project, but it's like, where do we pick him? And if we pick them here, do we set our franchise back if he isn't that guy? And what Mickey Loomis is saying, I can sleep at night because this dude at this position is going to be great or very good for the next decade. Then they get a quarterback.
I mean, we were all pretty comfortable with the quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
Just to draw a point of comparison, if this was last year, I think we'd all be like, great, take J.J. McCarthy, New Orleans.
Yep. Yeah, well, I wasn't one of those that wanted to take J.J. McCarthy immediately because not that he wasn't a great athlete or a really good quarterback. We just didn't get to see a lot of what he could do because Michigan's running game was so strong. We talked about that a lot, Angel, last year. But obviously the Vikings saw something in him. He's going to be QB1, no question, for the Vikings this year. But that was the only trepidation I had about J.J. McCarthy. Not that he sucked or anything like that. They didn't have to rely on his arm leading them to winning drives last year on the whole, because Michigan was so awesome in the trenches and the running game. But we'll see how he is as QB1 this year for the Vikings. Let's see. If we could scroll down just a little bit more, Angel, to Mike Reese. This is him on SportsCenter yesterday on the New England Patriots and their 4th-round pick. Who's it going to be? I think most of us know what's going to be, but with them, you never know.
All right, let's talk about the Patriots at pick 4. That's where we find our Mike Reese. Mike, what can you tell us about New England's plan for that pick and the draft as a whole?
Well, Jay, if there's one thing to know about the Patriots' intentions, it's that they want to come out of this draft with more infrastructure around quarterback Drake May. They feel they have their quarterback of the future. Now it's about putting more pieces around him to help him be successful. Now, I am told that they are willing to move down from that number 4 pick, but at this point, interest in the pick has been modest. Now, a lot will depend on what happens 1, 2, 3 in terms of who is available to the Patriots. But another thing to know, they've spent a lot of time with left tackles. Head coach Mike Vrabel saying he believes that position will be good for the Patriots in this draft at different levels. And LSU's Will Campbell, one to keep an eye on at number 4 as a possibility. Campbell was a pre-draft visitor here in Foxborough, and scouts that have studied him tell me that his nasty on-field demeanor and his team-first attitude likely appeal to Vrabel as Vrabel builds his culture here in New England.
The word of the day, protect Drake May. Mike Reese, thank you so much.
It's several words, actually. Look, the more I look at Will Campbell, not only watched him a lot in the SEC, the stat that is mind-boggling to me, remember, you're in the best conference in the country in the SEC. The last 900, and it's official now, the last 989 snaps for him at left tackle, he has allowed 2 sacks in 2 years. 989 total snaps in the toughest conference in the country, and you allow 2 sacks. I'm in. I'm sorry. I've seen enough of him. He's got an edge to him that I love. I'm in. And you can't find me another left tackle from any conference with 989 snaps that's only allowed 2 sacks on his watch. I'm in. I'm in. So nobody's ever perfect, but that stat to me sticks out like a sore thumb. It's crazy. So I'm all in. I'm all in with him. No question about it. Staying in the New England region real quick, as long as I have these cuts, and again, thanks to our friends at Total Sports Prep. I should give them props. Total Sports Prep, by the way, for the best articles and audio, there's only one source that provides everything you need 365 days a year to satisfy your sports crave. It's Total Sports Prep. The staff combs through the best articles and audio so you don't have to. Sports and non-sports kicker stories will leave you laughing all day long. To get your free trial of Total Sports Prep, contact them at info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. That's info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. Back on Sirius XM College Sports Radio yesterday, Bill O'Brien was asked, head coach of the BC Eagles, if he had gotten any advice from North Carolina head coach Bill Belichick.
I don't think Bill needs any advice whatsoever. I mean, no, I did not. I stay in touch with Bill. I have a lot of respect for Bill. I'll see him at the ACC meetings, but I mean, I'm not going to be the one that gives Bill any advice. He's I think he's in great shape. You know, the one thing too, Danny, about that, he is, you know, even when I worked for him for several years, you know, he studies the college game. So in the draft, especially, right, he watches all that draft tape. He studied the evolution of the college game. You know, one of his closest friends is Nick Saban. I'm sure he's talked to him a lot about, you know, college football. But, you know, look, I think at the end of the day, like I said, he's a ball coach, and he'll adapt to what the differences are in this game relative to the pro game.
And one more from Bill O'Brien on the ACC and where it stands. And then we'll get to a cut from ESPN yesterday on First Take, or on First Take with Mad Dog Russo. Got shut down when trying to talk about Bill's girlfriend, but we'll get to that in a second.
Coach, do you think the ACC gets the respect it deserves as a football conference? It's something that frustrates me, you know, often. You know, the losses, they feel worse than they do in the SEC or Big Ten. The wins don't feel as impressive. A lot of that has to do with a number that's before you in a ranking column. That can be very frustrating. Do you think the ACC gets the respect it deserves?
Yeah, it's very frustrating. No, I don't. Look, I think there's things that we can do better in the ACC, right? You know, I think, you know, the teams that go to the bowl games, go to the playoffs, obviously we all can do better. We've been told that as coaches, but I also think that you just mentioned it before, between the coaches and the players that are in this league. If you went down the roster of coaches and the roster of top players in the league, I mean, this is a hell of a league. And so, I know just from preparing on a week-to-week basis, I mean, every game is a very, very difficult game to prepare for, because every team has great coaching on the other sideline and great players. So, I don't know how that all works, relative to the, what the landscape is. SEC, I coached in all three conferences. I've coached in the SEC, the Big Ten, and the ACC, and ACC is great top to bottom, just like those two conferences. I have a strong belief in that.
All right. So that's Bill O'Brien, head coach of Boston College, and not giving any advice to Bill Belichick at North Carolina. His girlfriend, a young girlfriend, 26 years old, Jordan Hudson, has been around the team a lot. Some reporters don't like it. They find it odd. I do find it a little interesting about how she's keeping track of a lot of stuff for the team. Anyway, Mad Dog Russo yesterday on First Take wanted to talk about it, but got shut down. It's typical ESPN. They have their own ridiculous set of morals of what they believe should be talked about and what is not. Then we'll get to Shannon Sharp in a second, too. Go ahead.
A lot more that I can give you. The Rangers fired their head coach. Mrs. Belichick's girlfriend with the 28-3, jersey, which drove me crazy. Did you see that this week?
Well, tell me the Belichick's girlfriend real quick. I want to hear.
You want to hear this? It'll get me in trouble, but I'll tell you right.
Oh, they said no. They said no.
Oh, don't go
They
through.
said no.
That's what I mean.
They said no.
I get edited here too. I get edited.
Okay. No, I said no.
She got me in trouble.
So we didn't do it. We didn't do it. We caught ourselves.
That's it's not bad. Wasn't the best I've done, but I gave you, for Snoop, I gave you something.
The purple and gold.
A lot more that I can give
They
you.
are such fucking hypocrites over there in Bristol. Honest to God. It's so childish. Oh, we don't want Mad Dog to talk about. What do you think? There aren't other shows out there, digital and terrestrial, that haven't talked about Bill Belichick. Our buddy Bill Sparrows wrote a whole column about it yesterday from the Boston Herald. It was a riot. What would Jordan? What would WWJHD? What would Jordan Hudson do? What is the big deal? These are all public figures. You're not defaming them. You're not getting personal with them. I mean, why can't you and Chris Russo talk about it? What is the big deal? You freaking moral. God, I'm so glad I never went to work for them. I am so glad. Look, I have a lot of people, a lot of my friends that work over there that have been on this show that I respect highly. But trust me, off the record, they all get frustrated with this bullshit moral police, this PC stuff that ESPN throws at some of the reporters sometimes about what is or what is not subject matter. Now, I know McAfee's talked about it. He just gives them the bird. He said, "Fuck you! I'll just do it. I just do what I want. You can't afford not to have me." And I can't believe if Stephen A. brought it up that they would trash him either, or tell him not to do something, because he would go against the grain. As much as I sometimes think he goes way over the top with his preaching, but he's not going to be edited. I think that's such crap what they just did to Mad Dog. I mean, what are they going to say? Oh, an older guy. It looks creepy. We all believe it. Everybody thinks the same way. It looks creepy, and not just for Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. It would look creepy for any man close to 70 or not more with a 26-year-old. It looks creepy. For God's sakes, it could be his granddaughter. True. So why? That's just fact. That's not. And I'm not. I love Bill to death. Good for him. I'm like, whatever makes you happy. But for ESPN to think like nobody else is talking about it, it just goes to show you once again how out of touch they are with a lot of their audience. It's just stupid. If I was Mad Dog, I would have said it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was going to say, but it would have been, I don't know what Mad Dog was going to say, but it probably would have been funny. I can tell you that.
Yeah, but it's a lot of hypocrisy, though, at ESPN. It's funny how certain things have no problem talking about, and then other things like, no, we can't say that. So, yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, McAfee plays by his own rules. A lot of times, Stephen A. plays by his own rules. But you heard see Molly's reaction. I'm sure the producer yelled, no, because I'm telling you, this is how it works, man. No, don't let Chris do it. We'll get in trouble. You know what? Say it. Ask questions later.
Yep.
Ask questions later. Yeah, and Duncan and Nicole Smith. No question about it.
Yep.
There's also a great scene. One of the great underrated sleeper movies of all time, especially if you're a dog lover, is Best in Show. Did you ever see that, Angel? That movie?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
And they have, and it's, what's her name? I forget her name. I know Peanut Gallery knows, but she's from Massachusetts. She's from Hanover or Norwell, Massachusetts. She's a very well-known actress, very funny. You see her in the commercials doing the backflips, and she comes off as a ditzy character all the time. But in Best in Show, she played the Anna Nicole Smith type. They were all these eccentric dog owners occasionally. They were all going to the national show, which was in Philadelphia, which is a real thing, by the way. Outside of Westminster, you have the big show in Philadelphia every year, too. And she plays the Anna Nicole Smith character to a T. And they show her husband, who looks like, he's like 90 years old and a dried up prune. Can barely talk, and he's in a wheelchair, and he's the same type of person that Anna Nicole Smith kind of married in real life. And the character in the show is going, people our age, and she goes, I'm finding I have to push him away. And they asked her, was like, what in the movie? Well, she's like, what do you like? And then, we both like soup. One of the funniest lines. Anyway, we digress. All right, take a quick break. When we come back, more on the NFL draft. I have an NBA, NHL rundown. Duncan Dad's going to join us at 8:05. Probably in a better location where then ESPN's radio team in the morning is, which is outside the parking lot, talking to nobody in the fucking freezing cold. But anyway, I did want to tell you, Angel, if we could bring up that picture. My buddy Phil Castanetti, check this out. You got to check this out. I got to punch it up myself. Phil Castanetti at Sports World in Saugus, Mass. Is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. Now check this out. It's at 184 Broadway in Saugus. And they just purchased one of the greatest Boston Red Sox items in existence, a 1915 World Series champion silk pillowcase. Only 3 known to still exist. It's been, and that has to be the nicest one still remaining. All the tassels still intact. Conditioning is amazing for being 110 years old. And this will be on display at Sports World for all to see. Absolutely stunning. Check that out. So get on down there to Phil Castanetti Sports World in Saugus, Mass. New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. Get on down there, 184 Broadway in Saugus. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. 781-233-7222 for more information. Get down there, check this out. A 1915 World Series champion silk pillow on display in an unbelievable, mint condition. So get on down there to Sports World in Saugus. Be there. Quick break and back with more stuff. Next here on it's NFL Draft Day here on the Pete Sheppard Show and around the world, by the way, here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey, everybody. It's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill? Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Pete Sheppard Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Now for Jaylen Brown. It's a 7-0 run. And a takeaway by Brown. Race to the rim, and Brown's going to win. Jaylen Brown with a hammer jam. Celtics have their largest.
Oh, Jaylen Brown, absolutely outstanding last night. I told you that they weren't going to be able to stop him. They couldn't. No Jason Tatum, no problem at all. And he was unbelievable. 36 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Celtics go on to win 109-100. I know for some of you they didn't cover by a point, but that's why you do teases. What can I tell you? Anyway, Porzingis was absolutely outstanding. 20 points, 10 rebounds, and didn't have any assists, but he got clipped in the head pretty good. Had to leave. Well, he had to leave with the giant Band-Aid on his head. Came back out, made the free throws. Because if he didn't come out and make the free throws, he would not have been allowed to stay in the game. So they put a Band-Aid on his head. Then he makes the free throws, or 1 out of 2. Goes back into the locker room. Just got a towel over his head, pumping his fist, everything else. He's in the locker room for a little bit. Comes back out after 5 stitches and continues to perform. Angel, I got. If you refresh my Twitter page, underneath, you will see a Porzingis after the game, and why he came back in. Of course, he's coming back in. He's a hockey player playing basketball.
Sure is.
And watching your own blood down the back of your head, most of us would have called it a night, but you didn't. Like, what made you go back into the game? Did you know you're going to go back? What went to that, like, coming back out?
No, honestly, how could I not come out? Like, oh, I have 5 stitches, I can't play anymore. Like, no, like, my legs work, everything works, so of course I'm going to be out there. And yeah, and as I said, you know me, I like these moments. I come back out again and get a little love from the crowd. So yeah, it's just it just happens within the game, and this is not going to stop me. So I'm going to keep on.
It was a smile to the crowd to let them know you were okay. Is that kind of
no? I just smiled because I was like, again.
I tell you, he's beloved in Boston with this team. He's just, he gets it. He absolutely gets it. Tough as nails. It's the second time in a few weeks he's got knocked out of the game for an injury like that. To come back, he had another game where he had stitches above his nose, I think. And 5 stitches last night. Comes back in like a hockey player and just continues to play. Gotta love that. Hear that, NBA? Hear that? 85, 90% of you out there. That's what people want to see. That's what the fans want to see. Toughness, toughness, toughness. Not, ooh, my arm, it's broken. No, get up and play. Go in the locker room, get stitched up, come back out and play. That's what you do in the Stanley Cup. That's what you do in hockey. And more of it should be done in basketball. But nice win by the Celtics, 109-100 last night at home against the Orlando Magic. They have a commanding 2-0 lead. Game 3 tomorrow night in Orlando, where the music will be absolutely beyond obnoxious. Elsewhere in the NBA last night, Cleveland and Miami, the Browns. No, that's tonight. No, the Cavaliers beat the Miami Heat 121 to 112, and Donovan Mitchell.
To see it here tonight. Wing tied by Allen. Up the top, Mitchell, Spider flying from Garland. A great job of leading this transition opportunity.
That was early on in the game. That made it 13-7 at the time, Miami. But later on in the game of the fourth quarter, Donovan Mitchell hits some clutch threes.
Critical turnover. .2:30 to go. Game 2. Mitchell! Spider! Light it up! And then the step back triple. Back-to-back games.
Yes. So the Cavaliers win 121 to 112. Houston over Golden State 109-94. This was another one, just like the Lakers 2 nights ago. That Houston was going to win this game. There was, to me, no way in hell that they were going to lose this game. And then this happened.
Podziemski back on the floor. Let's keep an eye on him. That one. Oh, look out! Wow, Butler goes down hard. Thompson comes underneath Butler. He was bumped as well, and Jimmy Butler's legs went right out from under him. Straight contact on the floor.
Listen, this series is incredible. I mean, just look at this. Podziemski holding on to Steven Adams, a battle there, both guys down. This is not a game for the faint of heart.
He's going to be going to the locker room.
Well, you're not going to see many minutes with Butler and Curry both out of the game, and Draymond Green also out. So there are 3 main guys with all that experience, all out of the game right now.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler hurt. That was a wow. It looked horrible when it happened, but yeah, 25 points, 7 boards, and 6 assists in the series opener. So he went out in the game. Anyway, Steph Curry had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists in that one. Green had 38. Brooks had 16. Seguin had 17 as well. And that series is evened up at 1. I expected to go 7. But also, what would a Golden State playoff game be without some shenanigans from Draymond Green and company?
Not done. He and Fred VanVleet come together. They're jawing right in front of that Rockets bench. And this is what happened. No punches thrown, but bodies started to come in and pushing and shoving.
Well, and that was good, though, that people getting Draymond Green away. He's probably going to end up with a technical here and be ejected. I think Steve Kerr was going to take these guys out of the game anyway, but you don't want Draymond Green suspended for Game 3. And so his coaching staff getting in, security guys getting Draymond Green away. Very, very smart.
The hold me back guys were on point there.
Well, they were. And they were great self-control by the players. Nobody losing their composure to the point of getting suspended. Excellent job, and give the referees credit.
Yeah, and also the Warriors. Nobody talked about this that much, but Brandon Podziemski's, he had a stomach virus or something like that, and he missed most of the first half. He didn't score in 14 minutes after going 14 points in Game 1, so that was pretty big. You have the play, Angel, of Jimmy Butler going down?
Yep, here it is for those who are watching the show visually.
Watch Amen Thompson trying to get through here, and he kind of...
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Put in your coccyx.
It is miss, and Draymond's trying to box him out. Watch
Right on the
Amen
tailbone.
Thompson trying to get through here, and he kind of...
Goodness.
Yeah. Oh, man. It is miss, and Draymond's trying to box him out.
Right on that tailbone. That's tough.
Oh, that is so painful. I've fallen on that a few times in my life. Not maybe as high as that, but when I was playing basketball as a kid, something very similar happened. I wasn't that high up in the air as high as that, but it's happened. It's happened to me in hockey, but you have the pads, even the pants are padded even down. But man, does that fucking hurt? It really does. All right. So let's see. That's what else? So that was the NBA action from last night. But I would tell you this. Of course, we had some TNT shenanigans, Angel. If we could scroll down, Chuck and they're very upset about the game that they have tonight, as opposed to the games that are on NBA TV. And it's under Clutch Points. If you scroll down, the headline: "You're all serious now."
Oh boy.
Yeah, look,
another fun one because you already see Shaq's face.
Yep.
We got going on Thursday.
Okay.
All right. So,
3 more games.
Knicks and Pistons.
Oh, are y'all serious right now?
Grizzlies.
Are y'all serious right now?
That's crazy.
Y'all got the Clippers, the best series going on NBA TV instead of here.
Wow.
Come on, Kenny.
Yeah, that's
Kenny.
different.
Come
That
on,
is
man.
different. That is different.
Who made that decision?
Oh, my
They've had the 2 best games by far, and we ain't gonna be there. Come on, man.
Nuggets. Can we make a trade?
Who made that decision? Fiorello?
Can we make a trade that Thunder in that Nuggets game? Wow. I'm with you, Chuck.
Hey, think about it. We're gonna show the game where the team lost by 75 points
In 2 games.
In 2 games instead of the teams who were overtime and a barn barner.
I knew you'd be fond of that scheduling for Thursday night to watch that series.
You're absolutely right. Or go to another network and watch it then. It must have been a pleasure.
And,
Did we get NBA TV in the
Yeah, you get NBA TV in here. Yes, you do.
They didn't pay for that.
It's across the street.
They didn't pay for that.
The guy
these doors and turn left.
The guy said if you don't like this, it's been a great series, but we got to go somewhere else and watch it tomorrow.
We don't.
Well, we don't, but the fans do. Come on, man. Whoever made that decision is just stupid.
Okay, again, that game will be on NBA TV.
I cannot wait. There's your camera. Talk to him, Chuck.
Come on, man.
Camera.
I mean, seriously. You scheduling these games, you're like, no, you know what? Them other 2 games been great. Great basketball, like the Joker said. Let's go show the game where the team got beat by 75.
But the schedule was out before any games were played.
But we knew that was going to be a good series. We knew that was going to be a great series.
I got a word for you, Ernie. Reschedule.
Yes.
It's only a half hour difference.
There they are.
Absolutely right. Yeah, and then showing the ESPN executives, that's exactly it. And they're going to do the same thing over there. It'll be refreshing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, that NBA, I mean, just recap. You think NBA T gives a shit? You know, like they care. And if the NBA is running this, you think Adam Silver can't say, hey, we're flip-flopping these 2 games. What's the difference? You know, Isaiah Thomas is boring as hell pregame on NBA. You ever watch NBA TV?
No.
I mean, I don't have to watch it unless it's absolutely necessary. But their pregame, halftime, and postgame shows suck worse than ESPN's. It's awful. You know, boring as hell. I mean, Isaiah Thomas talks like this throughout the whole thing. He never gets excited. Just always he's very articulate in the way he talks about the NBA, but you can barely hear him. His voice gets softer and softer as he does now. Stop it! Give me TNT. Give me my voice. Ridiculous. All right, so let's sneak some Stanley Cup playoff action here. Montreal, Les Habitants going at it in Washington, trying to even the series up at 2. Did they do it?
Armia. Ryan Leonard sends it over to Beauvillier. And Todd scores. Dylan Strong catching his own rebound, and the Capitals take the lead.
I meant to say he's tied up at 1. No. All right, and later on, the empty netter was added by Connor McMichael.
No icing. Fans rise to their feet. 8 seconds left. Stacked up in front. Capitals with a takeaway. McMichael seals the deal.
Part of the success the Caps have here on home ice. And just a hard-working last shift. Connor McMichael gets that puck from Dubois and finds himself the empty net. 2 goals for Connor here in this hockey game. He kicked off the scoring, got that one there, and look at Logan Thompson.
Oh, yeah. So Washington beats Montreal 3-1. They have a commanding 2-0 lead. Back to the Bell Center. They will go tomorrow night. Dallas and Colorado. Tyler Seguin. Why can't the Bruins get players like this in overtime?
Puck away now does. Skates to stick away from Drouin. Played ahead to Marchment. Marchment drives to the net. He holds, finds a cutter. Score! Marchment sets up Seguin. Wins it.
It was Rantanen who created this. He's going to get the second assist on this play. It was his strength in the defensive zone to get it out. And then Marchment drives the net and finds Seguin, who's driving. Good play by Marchment here. Head up, finds Seguin, who buries it. As Dallas takes a 2-1 series lead. All started from the former Colorado Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen, and finished off by Tyler Seguin, his second of the series.
And Callie, that will be the first point of this series for Mikko Rantanen. And that was really an underrated part of that play. Was it not? Skates to stick to win that puck, and he creates the rush.
Absolutely was. He's the one who...
Yep. Thanks again to ESPN with the call. Great call last night. Dallas over Colorado 2-1 in overtime, and they win this, and they lead the series now 2-1. One other game, the Kings and Edmonton went at it last night as well.
Goal line, and it was, I think, the back of the right skate of Skinner that kept it out. Here's Kempe, scores!
It's a raid.
Right inside the post, but once again, the Oilers have possession of the puck, and Arvidsson just has it
off the heel of his stick, fans on it on a play that's got to be managed and out of the zone, and instead it ends up in the net. And a key goal of this hockey game and momentum gained once again. Kempe taking the pass from Kopitar, and this is just a classic wrist shot. Hardly could hear any noise of that puck coming off the end of the blade.
Yeah, thanks again to the call from TNT last night with that one. That made it at the time 4-2 in the third period, and then later on, Monsieur Kopitar gets in on the action.
Kevin Fiala on the boards for Kopitar. Kempe, Fiala, waits, back across, they score! Kopitar, the third power play goal tonight for LA.
Everybody hands against the wall.
Before this, they're up in arms, but this is pinpoint passing right here. Fiala puts this, oh my goodness, what a pass. It's a heel-to-toe saucer pass right on the tape. It does go off the blade. The goaltender, Skinner, nearly got it. It went off the blade and into the...
Yeah, thanks again, TNT, with the call last night. All right, Angel, let's take a quick break. And then when we return, Duncan Dad is going to join us someplace around Green Bay, depending on where he is. It can't be any worse than where the ESPN radio morning show is, because they're in the dark broadcasting to nobody out in a parking lot in Green Bay.
Yep. Good morning, Deborah.
Wasting all that company money. But there we go. But our guy is there as well. So we'll get a hold of Duncan Dad. Then our mock draft coming up at the bottom of the hour. Myself, Angel, Jay Planley, and Trevor Harris. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss it. So stay right there. We'll come back, a short break then here on the... Duncan Dad joins us out in Lambeau here on the Pete Sheppard Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey, everybody. It's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com, or you can email them sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You want the best in sports and entertainment?
You got it. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Let's talk about the Patriots at pick 4. That's where we find out Mike Reese. Mike, what can you tell us about New England's plan for that pick in the draft as a whole?
Well, Jay, if there's one thing to know about the Patriots' intentions, it's that they want to come out of this draft with more infrastructure around quarterback Drake May. They feel they have their quarterback of the future. Now it's about putting more pieces around him to help him be successful. Now, I am told that they are willing to move down from that number 4 pick, but at this point, interest in the pick has been modest. Now, a lot will depend on what happens 1, 2, 3 in terms of who is available to the Patriots, but another thing to know, they've spent a lot of time with left tackles.
That is Mike Reese, ESPN, great guy, and he along with Field Yates, two of my favorite people that work over there. Field's birthday was yesterday, by the way. Happy birthday, my friend. I sent him a nice message, and his hair gets better and better. Mike doesn't have a lot of hair, so we know that Mike's fantastic. Great reporter, does a great job for ESPN covering the Patriots. So there you have it. A little bit of analysis from him as far as what's going on. Will the Patriots trade? Will they take the left tackle? Who knows? Our mock draft is coming up at the bottom of the hour. I know who I'm going to be taking because I'll be picking for the Patriots. Angel will kick things off with Tennessee. I wonder who he'll take. And then we have a round robin type of thing going on. Myself, Angel, Jay Flannelly, and Trevor Harris over on the East Coast of Florida from WQAM in Miami. He'll be picking for the Dolphins, but we're all rotating. We're all picking for several teams. Jay's going to pick for the Raiders and the Lions. And it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hi, Deborah. Good morning to you. Good morning, guys. As always. Let's see. Duncan Dad's supposed to join us any second now, right?
He is currently going through security. So as soon as he's done going through security, he'll be on with us.
Okay, great. All right, let's do an MLB rundown while we wait for him real quick. Cubs and the Dodgers, and another classic one last night.
13 pitches, 9 balls, 4 strikes. He hits it out to left center field. Pages back at the warning track. It's into the basket and gone. Pete Crow Armstrong, NBA Jam homers in back-to-back games. 3-run shot. Cubs lead 3-2. He is a special talent. You knew he could field. You knew he could run. But Pete Crow Armstrong with 5 homers here in the month of April. OPS skyrocketing.
All right, I'm just going to run down the other scores. Minnesota doubled up the White Sox. There's another couple of NFL videos I want to play. Minnesota doubled up the White Sox 6-3. Yankees over Cleveland 5-1. Cincinnati got by Miami 5-2. Detroit blanked San Diego 6-0. In 10 innings, once again, the Mets do in the Philadelphia Phillies. Oh my, especially losing like this sucks.
And Marte dumps one into center field. Base hit! Here comes Alonso. Stevenson's throw to the plate. Too late, and the Mets have won it. 7 straight for New York. Marte the hero. A broken back dunker into center field. Enough to win it. The Mets rally for 2 in the bottom of the 10th. They finish off a 7-0 homestand as they sweep the Phillies.
Ouch. Still very early. Atlanta 4, St. Louis 1. My team lost to Houston over Toronto 3-1. San Fran doubled up Milwaukee 4-2. Seattle beat the Red Sox 8-5 last night. J.P. Crawford, a big 3-run homer there in the top of the 4th. Washington over Baltimore 4-3. Colorado, Kansas City. I guess it snowed again. Bad weather there. Pittsburgh over L.A. 3-0. In 11 innings, Tampa Bay beat Arizona by a score of 7-6. Yandy Diaz RBI double in the top of the 11th proved to be the game winner. Athletics over Texas 5-2. All right, Angel, if we could scroll down back to my Twitter page while we wait for Duncan Dad to get through security, hopefully unscathed. And there's a couple. It's just scroll down to, it's under NFL on CBS, and get a different perspective here from Jonathan Jones about Shedeur Sanders not being selected tonight. It's what I said earlier.
Ooh.
What are you hearing on where Shedeur Sanders ultimately is going to fall in this draft?
He could go out of the first round. He very well may not be a first-round quarterback. He may not be the second quarterback that is selected. Different teams have different valuations on him. More teams than not that I speak to tell me that they have a second-round grade on Shedeur Sanders. Why? Well, he has an average relatively arm. He has average, relatively athleticism. You're talking about getting drafted in the first or second day of the NFL draft. You are an incredible athlete. You compare it to your dad, or you compare it to other fantastic quarterbacks in this draft, it's average. You consider his completion percentage, very high, very accurate. Now break it down and see how many of those throws were at or behind the line of scrimmage. All of these things start to, and you had the Heisman Trophy winner that you were throwing to kind of help those things out. All those things start to add up a little bit before you even get to any sort of interviews and how he made me feel at a combine interview or at a pro day or how he carries himself, whatever you want to say about that. And so I think that there is a very good chance that he is not selected on Thursday night. I think the logical place he goes is 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if he doesn't, and a team does not trade up for him back into the first round of the draft, he will be waiting to hear his name called until Friday.
Yeah. Look, I've been talking about him going to 21 for a few days now. Last week, we thought about a trade maybe with Arizona. The Steelers would to move up a little bit. Now I don't think they have to. Unless, we still don't know. New Orleans could still take him at 9, although that's seeming like a less and less possibility. You still can't count out the Giants. I don't trust them. I mean, it'd be a riot if they did. I don't think they will, but we just don't know. We just don't know what is going to happen. I do think the logical place for Shedeur is going to fall to 21. Couple right under the show, Angel. Might have to refresh one more time. This is an oldie but a goodie. Back in 2005, speaking of falling in the draft, here is a young Aaron Rodgers being interviewed by Susie Colbert back then, before and after. He fell to number 24 in the NFL draft. And it was unbelievable. Him coming out of Cal was one of the hottest thing since sliced bread. And he fell to 24. So anything can happen. Here's his interview with Susie back. This is 20 years ago. Can you believe it?
It's insane.
A couple of weeks ago, Aaron, you were the clear-cut number 1. What's changed over that time?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you. I haven't changed anything. I think it's just perceptions of me or maybe needs of the teams at the spots. And I'm just, I'm not too worried. I'm excited about going to a team that wants me and making an impact right away. On the inside, there was a lot of disappointment, embarrassment, just thinking about, the hard work I put in and the disappointment of it not paying off in my mind at the time. As I saw, teams passing on me that I know I'd talked to and thought were interested, and had players drafted who I felt like I was better than.
Troy Williamson, Mike Williams, Jamal Brown, Thomas Davis, Travis Johnson, David Pollock, Erasmus James, Alex Barron.
You start questioning everything from where you worked out to how hard you worked to the people you surround yourself with to leaving college. Very humbling.
With the 24th selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from California.
All right, Angel, that's good.
The old flip phone.
Yeah, that's good. All right, right on cue. There he is, Duncan Dad. Let's see. Are you outside? You went anywhere near the ESPN people who were at the fucking parking lot broadcasting to nobody, wasting company money and time? Absolutely. How you doing, Duncan Dad? Where you at? Oh, hang on. There we go.
There we go. We're on stage. We're here. We're live.
Yeah.
We are doing it live from Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra. It is a little chilly this morning, mid-50s, a little spritz. But yes, we are right outside of Lambeau Field.
Nice.
The chaos that is going on inside right now is just beyond reproach. Like you said, I heard you coming in this morning. Why you're out here at the butt crack of dawn, freezing, just for what?
Access to nobody. All you're doing is
no
replaying.
access.
You're just playing reruns of other people's shows anyway.
That's right.
It's a waste of money. That's why people at ESPN get laid off all the time because of shit like this. Anyway, but where? So what? You got to tell you where? Like you got a great spot. You got as good a spot as anybody. What? So you just got a nice table out there, and they set you up.
Yeah. So what we have right now is when you first walk in, they have this little experience center thing going on. They have a little on-site little brewery to my left, another little coffee spot to the right. So I kind of just set up shop a little bit. Figured we get the showing, take a couple takes this morning, and then make our way over to the actual media center. And once you're inside the compound, you're in the compound. So
yeah, I think so. That's your mic you got there and everything. You had to brag.
Yep. Oh yeah, I brought everything with me, man. We brought all the equipment with us.
So you have to check it on the plane.
Yeah, I didn't check it. I put it in the carry-on bag and just gonna kind of put my head down.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, that's because I've done that. Because then they make the way things look, broadcasting equipment. Sometimes they put you through hell going through security.
Try to declare as soon as I walk up.
Yeah, I think you're in for a treat today. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. And Shedeur Sanders is at the center of all of it. Do the Giants still go to take him at 4? I don't think they will. Does New Orleans pass on? Does he fall to 21? Does he not even get drafted tonight? Which I think is also a distinct possibility. So there's a lot of story. Plus the inevitable trade that nobody saw coming in the first round is going to happen. It always seems to. It always seems to. But you should.
There's there was a lot of talk already rumbling about the potential of Cleveland trying to trade back up into the first if Shedeur does happen to creep on down a little bit lower. There's always the little hang up with him in New Orleans. Is he going to be the guy that Kellen Moore really wants to be in his offense? They float the Giants around, but I think that's just a bunch of BS just for a splash. The whole Pittsburgh thing, like you said earlier, too. Aaron Rodgers is doing his little thing, holding everybody hostage again to see what kind of falls out in place. These teams are just going to make moves.
Aaron Rodgers, I told you, Aaron Rodgers is writing, I blame the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers speech. See, they took Shedeur Sanders and never wanted me. You see, that's why I held out. I knew they weren't. Oh, what was me? How am I ever going to? I mean, it's a flaky boy can just, kiss my ass and whatever. He still may end up there. I'm not saying that it's entirely impossible, but I got to believe that if they had a good meeting with Shedeur Sanders, maybe for once, maybe Aaron Rodgers is getting played, but nobody.
Yeah,
and then where's he going to go? That's the thing. If it's Pittsburgh, then where? I have no idea because there's not many teams left that need a starting quarterback.
Right, and like everyone's saying, he's not going to a place where it's not tailor-made for at least a deep playoff run. He's not there to teach anybody. He's not there to groom anyone. He's not there to be the guy to put. No, he wants to win. He wants his last little rodeo, and no one wants to deal with it anymore. It's a shame.
No,
It's a tragic hero. It's a Greek tragedy.
yeah, somewhat. I'm past that. You know, it's even Favre at the end of his career, as bad as he was in the postseason. People need to know that Brett Favre sucked. His last 7 or 8 postseason games, the interceptions were off the chart compared to touchdown passes and everything else. But at least he got to some postseason games. Aaron Rodgers can't get out of his own way, you know, and the excess baggage that he brings. Nobody wants to deal with it, and I just don't know. I don't know what. I mean, off the top, I can't think of one somewhat contending team that he would go to be a starter. And don't tell me the Minnesota Vikings. I get offended at you, but I'm saying it's not going to be the Vikings. So who else? I don't know of any other team that would want him. That's a contender.
No, I don't think there's anybody that's tailor-made looking for a quarterback like that. I mean, Atlanta has their guy in Penix. They're not going to bring him in. They tried that with the Kirk Cousins experiment. It's not like he's going to walk in and try to back up Burrow in Cincinnati. That's not going to happen. Pittsburgh seems like the logical spot, but again, he's just got to be on the same page. Like Tomlin's just not going to put up with that. They don't want any more drama. He just commands way too much, and it's just not a formula nowadays for somebody to win with.
Well, so what's you know, you're walking through. What's the buzz? I mean, I'm sure there's a big buzz, right? Going, being there. Have you been to Lambeau before? That's one place I have not been. I have never been there before.
No, this is the inaugural visit, right? Not the first annual, the inaugural visit here at Lambeau. And parking is at a premium. And I threw up a little, prayer to the gods. And man, like I came in and right on Brookwood, which is directly adjacent to
Yeah, you're in a neighborhood.
Lombardi
You
Way.
got
Yeah,
you're driving into a neighborhood, and I'm sure a lot of those, just like they do at BC and a lot of other places, people will just use their driveways and spend people spend $50, $100 to park there because it's close. But I know, seeing the video and drone stuff before, it's a cool drive in because you're driving into a neighborhood.
yeah. It's out of nowhere. It's very college town-esque. Reminds me, like you said, a lot of the BC reminds me of even coming into like parts of Notre Dame, coming into like where Purdue's at, and all of a sudden you just turn and boom, there's a full, NFL stadium or arena that's right there. And it is limited parking. You have the house that's coming up to it. Now they built these wonderful, look like really modern little condo units, and they all have private parking in their driveways, but the street itself is lined with parking. And I had to check with the guy like 3 times. Like, look, I said, there's parking, like a couple spaces, and like there's parallel parking, right? I'll parallel park all day. I was like, over here. I was like, can I use them? He's like, oh, you mean like on the public street? I'm like, well, Brookwood, is that? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, thanks, because down the street at the Piggly Wiggly or whatever, they want to charge like $100, $200 for the whole day to park.
Oh my
But I
God.
mean, at a premium, right?
But the parallel part, say on Brookwood, you didn't need a Brookwood
No.
sticker or anything like you're a resident, like they do in a lot of big
No.
cities.
Yeah, no, because it's a main street. It's a street. And I was like, all right. I was like, as long as it's a public street, as long as it's a green sign. I was like, all right. So I mean, I took a picture.
Yeah.
Just to be sure.
You hope you don't get towed.
Hey.
Hey, I told the story before. You might have heard it. Me and my buddy Mike Petrali, we were covering the Patriots in Pittsburgh, a 7-6 loss the year that Bledsoe fumbled on the 50 as Adam Vinatieri was getting ready to do. Anyway, I had to set up to do some interviews and some stuff afterwards. Our car got locked in the garage at the old Three River Stadium, and we were stuck in there for like 2 hours. It was ridiculous. So,
I think the only good thing is that it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
So I figured, it's in its place. We'll let it be for a while, and it's going to be so stinking busy. They're expecting, 250 to 300,000 people packed in this place, and nothing in the way of infrastructure compared to some place like Detroit. Great, the nostalgia is awesome. Like that vibe here is definitely like starting to really come up.
Yeah.
Like this is the home, football. You see all the stories, you hear all the legends. You go out front, you see Curly Lambeau statue, you see the Lombardi statue. Just being on the field yesterday to get that little, media preview of it. It's picturesque football. I mean, the sky was crystal blue, if there could be crystal blue sky. Green turf. It was just like, my gosh, like this is where you should play football.
That's great. I'm sure it's an awesome atmosphere. I mean, the Vegas one a couple of years ago, that was kind of, I don't know, it didn't do for me. Kansas City was good. I mean, this is, you're in the hub. Was that?
Yeah. guys coming by on their bikes, chilling, going back between the media center and Titletown, little bar brewery over here. Uh, like you
All right,
said, still setting up.
what are they doing for the media? What do they have a little breakfast or a lunch or anything coming up for you guys, or what's the
Uh,
deal? I'm always about the food.
yeah, I'm gonna take a walk over here in a little bit. It's probably about 20, like a 15, 20 minute walk between the Resch Center, I guess, and where they're actually, doing the draft over at the theater. But then I've heard there's, coffees. I'm looking for some Wisconsin cheese,
Yeah.
Hope those curd over there. Try that. I'll
Cheese.
report on the cheese.
I wish you were closer to Milwaukee because Milwaukee's about what half-hour drive from there,
It's like
maybe.
an hour and
Is it an hour?
30,
Yeah.
about an hour and 30, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever had. If you end up in Milwaukee, make sure you go to Major Goulby's, one of the great sports bars.
All right, make sure.
Yep. Major Goulby's is a great sports bar. So, what do you now? Are you going to be live at any point on the network or on Twitter or anything like that coming up
Yeah,
today?
yes. What I'm planning to do is that there's a couple events popping up before the draft actually kicks off today. I'm gonna try to run by them. Obviously, NFL Initiative. These events are way
Yeah.
more than just the actual draft, right? They marketize and they take advantage of the entire week. So there was an Earth Day event, there was a greening event, there was a feeding the community event, there was a mental health event, there was a player playbook event, character event,
Great.
and it's good because a lot of people don't necessarily see what happens in these cities outside of just, oh, it's
Yeah.
game day.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's stuff going on every single day, every single week, with a lot of these organizations and communities. So hopefully highlight a little bit of that. Obviously, see if I can grab some fan reaction. But once the draft actually gets going, we'll try as close to live time that we can, as not to offend all of the powers that be, and hopefully afterwards get a little bit of reaction. I know Shatter here in Green Bay is like 23 years, man. Are we going to take a receiver? Are we finally going to take a receiver? They
Mhm.
had the kid from Texas come up. They had the other kid, Tyler Met, come up, and
Yep.
it's like, all right, are they going to pull the trigger on it? Can they do it? And all the clamoring and all like the little, Green Bay guys are like, get us receiver, get us receiver, get us receiver. And I'm like, well, is that what you really, really need to make your team better?
Well, that's just it. And like I said, nobody knows exactly what's going to go
No.
on. Really, it's a crapshoot. You really can't make a you really can't make an educated guess for the
No.
most part until 2 years, sometimes three into a draft to really evaluate it properly. There are exceptions. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look, I think the top four picks are going to make an impact
Right.
right away. But there's always busts. There's always people that stink that you would never think would stink, and there's
Yeah.
always surprises in the later rounds that come up and play incredible football. People forget Joe Montana wasn't drafted till the third round. Everybody knows about
Right.
Brady being picked 199.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of those type of guys out there. The quarterback from Louisville, who I love, I think is right up there with Dart as far as I'm concerned, and watching him play a lot. But we'll see. Dart's value is going up, and Shedeur Sanders is going down. Darren Orlovsky brought up a play. He's like, who decides this? Who decides who goes up and who goes down? And
Yeah.
I don't
I,
know.
I love I love Dan. I think because a lot of
I do
times
too.
he cuts through the chafe of the sensationalization that goes on around these players, and when really like all the euphemisms, all the affirmations, like push comes to shove, rubber hits the road. These guys have to show up and they have to play, and you have to be in a good environment as well. Everything that Cam Ward has going for him, he's going in behind the eight ball a little bit in Cleveland, like, or excuse me, in Tennessee. Like he has some weapons, but it's not like he's being drafted by the Eagles,
Yeah.
right? It's not like he's been drafted by the Lions. So that
No.
takes a
And
special person to overcome that. So you can have all this talent and all this skill set in the world. Are you going to be given the time to do it? Because we are in a win right now league. We want to see success. Like you said, 2 or 3 years afterwards, you're like, man, he's been a flop. What have you done for him? What have you given to him? What have you drafted around him? Well, count for that injury, like I don't know.
no,
There's
I
just
hear
a
you.
lot of
The Rick says, can I expect Duncan Dad to be on stage and announce the pick for Philadelphia?
yeah. With the 32nd pick, the Eagles trade out of the first round. No, I've talked to a couple people, and they're either moving up because Howie's got his grade A guys that he wants, or he's going to trade out of the first round. There's nothing there that he really, really, really loves. I mean, if the Taylor kid falls him or the Warren kid falls him at 32, maybe he'll go after it. But nothing jumping off the page, and I don't think he's going to overextend himself and try to go get Abdul Carter. It'd be nice to pair him on the backside, but at the same time, there was a lot of
That would
other
be
holes
sick if that ever happened. That would
Oh
be
my gosh.
absolutely sick.
Oh my gosh.
And then people will start hating the Eagles like they hate my Patriots all those years.
Yeah,
Where the
yeah, yeah.
Well, it's called the smart just get smarter. That's what it
Yep.
is.
I mean,
forgot
hey,
you're
how we
another
could do
Eagles
it.
fan. I'm surrounded by Eagles fans everywhere I go. You, Trevor,
Yep.
Angel. Anyway,
Yep.
that's great. That's awesome. Well, this has been great. Thanks so much, Duncan Dad, for coming on, and we'll look forward to. So you're gonna be on social media doing
Yeah,
stuff.
on social media through the day. Normally my thing is at 1 on the East Coast, which is high noon here.
Yep.
I'll see where I'm at, where I'm set up shop for that stuff, and I know we're gonna try to get into the experience a little bit earlier now that it's starting to be unlocked for the public today. Kind of
You
get some
there for both
vibes.
days? Or how long are you there? You leaving tomorrow? You're leaving
I'm gonna
Saturday?
leave Saturday morning very early,
Ah.
so I'm pretty much gonna spend the whole day here today, go back, rest a little bit, get up next morning, come back, do the same thing all over, and then tomorrow night into the next morning, I'll just head straight on to the airport and catch the early bird out back to Philly.
All right, bud. Have a great time. Thanks for doing this. You did a great
Oh, you
job.
guys, great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, and I'll retweet your stuff when I come across it. So have a great time, and make sure you have a good brat or two. Have
Yes, absolutely. All right, guys, go Birds.
Take care. Yep. There he is, Duncan Dad, live from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. It's only a bit chilly this morning. All right.
Just a bit.
We are just about ready to commence, and you're going to get so sick of hearing this, but it's too bad. You're going to start hearing it in your sleep. It's going to be like Pavlov's dog. You're going to start drooling when you hear it. Whatever. It's going to be. You're going to get extra hungry. It's going to be funny. But our mock draft is about as soon as we get everybody lined up here. I see Trevor Harris. I better give him his music. Hang on. If I don't, it'd be bad luck. Because Cam Ward's going to be drafted number 1 overall anyway to the Tennessee Titans. Let's welcome in Trevor Harris. We're over our mock draftist people today. Mock 99.0. My mock draft 99.0. Everybody 2.0, 3.0. Why do 99.0? It's so ridiculous.
It's like AOL 8.0. What type of internet you had back in the day when it came out? Like, did you have the 7.0, the 6.0? No, I had the 9.0 anyways.
Man, my first experience with internet was I had a Commodore 128 computer. And you used to have to do it by phone and pray that your parents or your sisters didn't pick up the phone, or somebody you didn't have call waiting if it did would cut it off. But it would cost money. And a lot of the stuff, if you didn't have a local number to dial in to get on the internet, and the internet was nothing like it is now. Like you couldn't get on ESPN.com or CBS there was none of that. There were like these chat rooms and stuff, sports rooms you'd go into to have discussions, and there were no pictures or anything. It was just people yapping away, but you had to spend money. If you didn't have a local number, you had to use a long distance number, and it was expensive. And you got to pray that no one else in your family has to use the phone.
Yeah.
You get cut off. Anyway, just like that. There is Jay Flannelly as well. He's got his Vrabel shirt on today. You there, Jake? Can we hear you?
Yeah, I'm here, Pete. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Trevor's here as well. Angel is here also.
Nothing will beat a vintage Powerade snapback. I'll say that from the
80s. Well, I don't know. This is my hat here is from one of my great listeners, Otis, my man. Great guy gave me this hat. It's a Patriots military hat a couple of years ago when I was at ESPN Southwest Florida. I know Otis checks in from time to time. Great guy. And this shirt is one of my favorite Patriot shirts. It's just different. It's unique, and it's cool. That the peanut gallery got for me a few years ago.
Pre-Tom era, looks like.
No, it's not. No, it's definitely during the Tom Brady era.
Okay, it looks like some of the stuff they had when Bledsoe was there.
The nicest Eagles merch was always fire, by the way.
Pete, you and I are the rare examples. We actually know about the team before Tom was there, as good a guy as he was. But like you work with Smarless and Diossi and those guys, but.
Hey, somebody sent me a video the other day. Remember how they used to always do NFL Films would do no matter how good or bad you were.
Oh yeah.
They would do NFL Films would do a recap, a 20-minute recap of your season. So if somebody sent me the 1978 Patriots, blah, 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 blah. And there was hardly any mention about Fairbanks and what he did. About how, Trevor, you know the story, Trevor, right?
Yeah, he's a famous.
He quit 2 weeks. He's quit to
He
go
got
to
arrested.
Colorado.
He got arrested, and we was trying to coach the game by the owners. The owners had him arrested, basically.
Yeah, well, he quit to go coach at University of Colorado right before the Patriots were going to host their playoff game against Dan Pastorini and Earl Campbell and the Houston Oilers.
Got rolled.
And then it got.
I was at that game, Pete.
He was. I wasn't allowed to go.
I wasn't thought of yet anyway.
But I mean, just think about it. He quits. They don't want to go. Then Billy Sullivan, the GM at the time, had a change of heart. It had him coach on the sideline, which was just a fucking disaster.
Under a court order. Under a court order. This is all going on.
Yeah, it was
way.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, 100% true story. Yeah, he was negotiating with Colorado in the middle of this season because he was the coach in Oklahoma before Barry Switzer. So he was a really good coach, and the Patriots are very cheap. And he wanted more money, and Colorado came up with the cash, and he left, and he's there. Believe it or not, if I do my timeline right, didn't he coach Don Hasselbeck?
Yes. Yeah, Don passed away.
At Colorado, he had Don Hasselbeck, yeah.
And just speaking real quick before, which I forgot to mention today, it's my fault. Condolences to Steve McMichael. Mongo, unbelievable, battling ALS, died at the age of 67. We've all seen him on some of these documentaries. And
all-time seven-footing stretch, by the way, going after Angel Hernandez, though. All-time seven-footing stretch. Steve Mongo.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you seen this, Pete, what he's talking about?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was just nuts.
No
Pete, you know that the Patriots drafted him as an offensive lineman, and they let him go.
Really?
Steve McMichael. He was on the Patriots. I'm going to look it up.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. They did.
They drafted him as an offensive lineman, and he didn't work out. He kind of worked out for the Bears.
Yeah, just a little bit.
He was
just a little bit. Awesome player.
People don't realize how good he was. Look at he had like 100 something interior defensive lineman sacks back in the day. That just didn't happen.
No.
I mean, it was a great player. By the way, little known fact, he ended his career on the Packers.
Yes. Yeah, of all things, yeah. But that was like Willie Mays with the Mets at the end, It wasn't really,
I just remember from WCW anyways. How about that? That's what I remember.
The Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen.
Yes.
With Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, and the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric
Flair. Woo! All right, let's get this going. We're going to hear this. I will have this. You're going to hear the more times than you'd want to hear it, but you're going to hear it because we're going to do it just like they would at the draft. So it's going to be kind of a round robin thing. I did it as fairly as I could. We're each going to end up with 8 picks. A couple of times it may happen where one of us has 2 in a row because I'm picking for the Patriots. Jay is going to pick for the Raiders and the Detroit Lions. Trevor, amongst other teams, the Miami Dolphins, and Angel for the Eagles. Couldn't have you both.
The Super Bowl champion Eagles.
That's
right.
right.
I had to print this out, by the way, so I know what pick I have anyways.
Well, that's why I send it to you guys, because I know it can be very confusing. And let's say and no trade, straight up. Try to be as fair and impartial as you can. No prejudices because somebody went to Ohio State or Florida.
What would you be talking about, Pete? Okay, there you go. So the funniest thing was I did the entire draft last night, but I did the 8 teams I have on PFF. So this is going to be fun. You might like what I'm going to do at number 2, but continue. Go ahead.
Well, let's try to be fair and.
I'm going to be fair. No, you'll see.
Okay,
you'll see.
Everybody just have okay.
Fair but firm, like the Russian police back in the day.
Great analogy. All right, let's get it going. Angel Martinez, you are up. Hang on. Now we'll do this. I will announce the person up, and then I will play. Angel Martinez with the first pick in the NFL draft. The Tennessee Titans select. I'm keeping track. I'm writing this down.
Right. Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami, unless something crazy ends up happening, but I believe that's what
Oh, no,
Tennessee.
that's the pick. We're not talking crazy. We're not talking positive. We know. We'll all be on the same side. It would be nuts if this didn't happen. So.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll be riding the street in Miami if he didn't go number 1 overall pick. Cam Moore didn't go.
All right. With the number 2 pick is Jay. With the Cleveland Browns, Jay Flannelly.
The Cleveland Browns, with the number 2 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, are selecting from Penn State, Abdul Carter. The reasoning is behind him and Myles Jarrett. Goodbye, quarterbacks.
I like that pick, actually.
Not bad.
I really do like that pick.
I really like it. For a lot of
Watch the Super Bowl. No, Angel watches Super Bowl. Did anybody watch the Super Bowl? How'd Mahomes look running for his life?
Yeah.
This isn't hard. How'd Tom lose 3 Super Bowls?
All right. Time for pick number 3 with Trevor Harris. Hold on. You are picking for the New York Giants, Trevor Harris.
So on brand since I grew up in Connecticut. The New York Football Gigantes pick Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU. Why? They haven't had an offensive line that's been good enough since forever anyways. Build the wall so they can put the quarterback upright.
I know Pete's happy right now. I know who he's picking.
Well, like I said, I don't know who comes up with some of these analytics, whatever it is. There is only one stat that sticks out to me with Will Campbell, which is why I would have taken him at 4. There is no question about it. When you have 989 attempts in 2 years and only give up 2 sacks in the toughest conference in the country, that speaks volume to me. That speaks volumes to me. So, watch the Giants take Shedeur Sanders. You watch. No,
I know. At least I'm smarter than the New York Football Giants GM right now, who's on the hottest of hot seats right
Absolutely.
now. Well, they're not going to take Will Campbell. They're the dumbest team in the league. They won't take Will Campbell.
No, the dumbest.
They might take the Membo. They might take the Membo kid. Remember that I told you that.
But I'm going to say this: down 95 with the Florida Turnpike belongs as the Miami Dolphins. That joke show, clown show, as I would like to say, anyways, as an organization.
All right, it's my
Pete's
turn.
favorite guy is the head coach. Go ahead, Pete.
It's my turn.
I know what this is.
With the number 4 overall pick, me picking for the Patriots, it's incredible. I select Travis Hunter.
Yay!
Colorado.
Good job, Pete.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yes. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Jay, and thank you, Trevor. Oh, that feels good. I think it moved.
If it only happens that way tonight.
That happens tonight. I'm going to say we had it here first, anyways.
Yeah, but you're being fair and partial, Trevor, about your thoughts about if you were the GM of the Giants, who you would take. And I understand that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with the pick is in. Picking for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 5th pick overall is Angel Martinez, and this should be interesting.
The Jacksonville Jaguars with the 2025 NFL draft pick, in my opinion, because they're in dire need of one, go with Ashton Jeanty, running back from Boise State, because they are in dire need of one.
That's a good pick.
No, definitely. It's always been Raiders, who are going to pick next. But maybe the Raiders want him so badly they trade up a spot. But certainly Jacksonville is definitely in the mix. Good pick, Angel, I think. Good pick. All right. So Ashton Jeanty, we shall see. Running back that early hasn't happened in a while.
Yep.
But he better pan out. All right.
He better be the second coming of Barry Sanders. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Really? And only play 10 years and retire.
That's what you get for playing in Jacksonville.
I love that pick for Jacksonville, by the way. Good job, Angel.
Yeah, and if Liam Cohen will not do what the Lions did for many years, especially with Wayne Fonts, is that Barry Sanders would rush for 99 yards, get them on 1 yard line, and they'd take him out. I never understood that back in the day, why he did that. All right, at numbers up, the pick is in. with the number 6 overall pick for the Las Vegas Raiders, here's Jay.
With the 6th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders, commitment to excellence, select a defensive lineman from the University of Michigan, Mason Graham.
Mason Graham. Got it. I'm just writing. You got to forgive me for
Tommy and John Spytek are very happy. I can keep my job, by the way. They're going to keep me.
Excellent. Wait, what happened? I just lost my. Oh, there it is. Okay. I just lost.
I'm writing the name down of a guy I wanted to take there, but he's overvalued. I want to see where he drops to.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's a defensive player.
All right. I'm going to do this right again. Hang on. The pick is in. At number 7, picking for the pathetic New York Jets is Trevor Harris. Trevor Harris.
The logo's a P. The logo's a P.
Deborah, I am writing everything down. Trust me, my dear.
I believe you. I don't have a pen around here.
No, I'm keeping track of everything.
The Jets,
because somebody inevitably is going to pick somebody that's already been picked by us, and we don't want that. So anyway,
absolutely.
I'm keeping track. We're good.
Okay. There we go. The Jets will known to do something stupid, and they're going to take a tight end named Tyler Warren, and it's not going to be Kyle Brady at least.
That's not stupid, by the way.
Yep.
I love that pick.
I thought so as well. That was good, Trevor.
Thank you.
All right, so you picked Kyler Warren.
Tyler Warren.
Tyler. I'm sorry, my bad.
From Penn State.
Yes, Penn State.
We are.
Very good pick. All right. All right. It's me. The pick is the pick in, Pete? Is the pick in? Yes, it's in. All right.
Hard.
Oh, hang on.
Jeez.
It's a tad dainty. So the pick is in. With the 8th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers are going to select somebody I thought the Patriots might be interested in too. We talked about this the other day. Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia.
That's my guy, Pete.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my guy, Pete.
The quarterback there, but Jalen Walker, the linebacker out of Georgia. Hang on, I'll write it down. Boom. We are moving right along. Now here we go. The pick is in. People have been waiting for months for this pick. And finally, it is in, and it's Angel Martinez picking for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, for the 2020.
What say you?
The 2025, pardon me, New Orleans Saints. Goodness gracious. Hang on.
All choked up.
Apparently.
Dion's on the other end begging him to take Shedeur Sanders.
Is that Gail Benson choking up? Is there a basketball team? Is that brutal?
But newly head coach, Super Bowl champion, Kellen Moore, and the shakeup on the top 10 goes with Jason Dart, excuse me.
Wow. Wow. Pass on Shedeur.
It's fairly possible. This is not.
I think it is too. I think it is too.
I think 3 or 4 weeks ago we might have said, "Oh, it's kind of nutty," but I don't think so. So
he seems like a New York Giant. And he goes to New Orleans Saints. I wouldn't be surprised either. So
yeah,
there's an other quarterback that's coming up, the Louisville kid. That I'm hearing both of those guys might get drafted ahead of Shedeur. That's what
I know. It wouldn't shock me.
Pete and I were talking about that yesterday. Yeah, yeah.
I like both of them. All right, we are at the pick number 10. The pick is in for the Chicago Bears. Once again, here's Jay.
Well, kind of stuck here, but I'm going to take Kelvin Banks from Texas because they need to protect Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. The wife will like that.
Yeah.
Trevor, I do mock drafts like all day. So this is Pete. That's why Pete has me here.
Oh, but what Angel's referring to is his beautiful wife Debbie, who's a huge Chicago sports fan. So she's a big Bears fan.
Yep.
Bears need a lot of help. The only thing that's helping out right now is the Cubs.
So let's just say this: Debbie does better picking her husband than her football team. But
You're born that way. You're born with who you're born with, and hopefully they're.
Well, I used to be a Red Sox fan. I've now gone over to the right side of the world and gone to the Mets. So there you go.
Although nice sweep of Angels Phillies this week.
We had to go.
Yeah, that was. They handled that really. They're handling the lost. Yes.
Wind blowing out already this whole week, anyways.
Yeah, I'm just already done. That's okay. It's the norm with the Phillies. It's either they start out hot and they cool off by the All-Star break, or vice versa. That's okay.
Yeah.
In the end, we're going to beat the Mets and head off to the playoffs. So we're good. We're good.
All right, the pick is in. With the number 11 pick, Trevor Harris will pick for the San Francisco 49ers. What say you?
The classiest fan base of all of them, anyways, I like to say. Since Debo's gone, we're going to take Tate McMillan from Arizona. How about that?
Not bad. Not bad.
Who are you taking?
Tate McMillan.
Tate McMillan. Okay. That's all right. All right.
You got to find a new wideout anyway, since they traded Debo to Washington.
Massive reach.
Hey, Dallas is going to reach for him anyway, so why not San Francisco?
You sure about that? Well, okay, and once we get to the halfway point, I will recap. And if you guys need to take a break for bad, we don't have to do that. All right. Oh! The pick is in.
Did something happen?
I get to pick for Dallas. Get away from me, Jerry. You bother me.
What's your point?
Button your lip. This is an interesting time for the Dallas Cowboys. You think they're going to go for a wide receiver? You think this? I'm not sure about that. I'm looking at what they need in the trenches. And I went through this last night, and I've come to the conclusion that they are going to take from Alabama guard Tyler Booker. Tyler Booker, guard.
Wow.
Yep.
See. Pete did a smart version of Jerry Jones that doesn't exist. So that's going to be interesting.
That's a Jimmy Johnson pick right there. Anyways, Jimmy Johnson would be proud. Right?
No, Jerry Jones is going to draft Golden, the Texas wide receiver, something of that ilk.
Yep.
Yes.
And people are going to they should take a receiver like you guys were saying, or maybe even a running back. No, I think logically, and I want to protect Dak Prescott and Tyler Booker, guard at Alabama, who's awesome. He's the man. All right, we are moving along here nicely. I need another set of hands. Oh, it's in. All right, hang on. I need special music for this too, because Trevor Harris, with the number 13 overall pick, will be picking for who.
I have more common sense than Chris Greer and any of the beat reporters, since they all want to take a corner. We're gonna keep Tua Tagovailoa upright. Offensive tackle, Armen Memembu from Missouri.
Missouri, okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Not bad.
I have more common sense than the beat reporters for the Dolphins, who all they want to take is quarter or running back and whatever. So, more smarts here, anyways. True football guy.
Okay. Just writing it down. Give me a second. All right. OT. Good pick, Trevor. Smart pick.
Bringing logic back to a few franchises, which really doesn't exist, especially down the street in Miami.
Hang on. What?
Oh. Who did you take again? I'm sorry, Trevor. Who did you take? I'm sorry.
Membu.
Membu. Okay,
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Missouri offensive lineman. Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Yep. All right, with the 14th overall pick, here is Angel picking for the Indianapolis Colts. What say you, GM Angel?
I think Indy needs help in a couple of different places, but if they need help, the greatest place I guess they can get it from would be from Michigan. And with that, I chose Will Johnson, cornerback.
That was going to be my pick. Good job, Angel.
Great pick.
It's a very good pick.
Fans like it.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
I'm waiting for the first Ohio State person to be taken. All right, coming up with the number 15. Oh, the pick is in the number 15 overall pick. Jay Flannery will be picking for the Atlanta Falcons, a place where concessions are reasonably priced.
Yes.
I'm going to take probably my favorite player in the draft, Jahad Campbell from Alabama.
Okay.
They need players on defense, and he's like Jalen Walker. He can play all over the place.
Fantastic. Let me just make sure I have everything right here. Yep. Yeah.
Doing a great job, Pete.
You can't go wrong with defensive players coming out of Alabama. You just can't.
No.
Nope.
All right.
Correct.
The number 16 overall pick is also in right now. Here it is. Just handed to me. Picking for the Arizona Cardinals, new GM Trevor Harris.
Jay, you sunk my battleship right there.
Oh.
And we're gonna take the first Ohio State player off the board, Emeka Igbuku from Ohio State.
Okay, the wide receiver.
You said it right the first time.
I did?
No, he's making fun because you said boo boo.
I'm making fun of Ohio State.
Of course he is. I really wanted him to be this, so Jay would have been forced to take him, but okay.
He's the second wide receiver drafted because, Golden hasn't gone.
Nope. It's Tate McMillan was the first one.
Yeah.
Just he's the second one. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. The pick is what? Yeah, the pick is in for me. I will be drafting for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they got enough offense, so this is an obvious one for me. They got to go defense. They absolutely have to go defense. And a guy who I saw some more video on yesterday, I am going up with Mike Green, who's a very, very good edge rusher out of Marshall. So that is my pick. The Bengals need as much defensive help as they can possibly
pick.
Has to be, and so we still don't know what's going to happen with Trey Hendrickson. It's still up in the air. But Mike Green, they
can get traded this weekend. He's going to get traded this weekend.
Can Mike Brown find the first Trust Bank debit card to go pay Trey Hendrickson, please?
No, they're going to trade him.
Or the Fifth Third Bank
debit card. Get traded this weekend. Might get traded tonight.
It might. All right, let me do a little recap here because we're halfway through. Actually, a little more than halfway through. First 17 picks. Let's start. Cam Ward goes 1. Abdul Carter goes 2. Will Campbell goes 3 to the Giants. Number 4, I get to pick Travis Hunter. Boom. 5 is Ashton Genty to Jacksonville. The Vegas Raiders select Mason Graham at 6 for the Jets. Tight end Kyle Warren for Carolina. Javon Walker. New Orleans. Jackson Dart goes at quarterback to New Orleans. For the Bears, Kevin Banks out of Texas. For San Francisco, Tate McMillan, the wide receiver out of Alabama. For Dallas, Tyler Booker, who's a guard. Miami selects Armand Amembo from the offensive tackle from Missouri. Indy, Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan. Atlanta, Jahad Campbell, linebacker. Arizona, with the 16th pick, takes Emeka Egbuka from the wide receiver from Ohio State. And at 17, Mike Green, edge rusher, going to Cincinnati out of Marshall. So, all right. You guys don't have to go to the bathroom or anything, right? Do you want me to take a break and come back, or we could just go through?
No, go through.
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
All right, it's
We're not Shaquille O'Neal, Pete. We're fine.
The 18th pick.
I may have a porta john outside.
Well, you saw what happened with Shaq the other night, didn't you?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All right, with the 18th pick for the Seattle Seahawks, here is Angel Martinez.
The Seattle Seahawks, with their 2025 NFL draft pick, needs help on the O-line. And the last thing that came out of North Dakota until it didn't, the OL, known as Gray Zabel, will be picked by the Seattle Seahawks.
Good pick, Angel.
Yep, that's a very good pick. Center guard out of ND State, and they have an awesome. Obviously, they should have beaten. Was it them that should have beaten Colorado last year?
Yeah,
or North Dakota in the beginning. It was North Dakota State that had them.
Yep.
Okay.
And they didn't.
Until they didn't. All right. Next up with the 19th, and the pick is in. Jay Flannelly will pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Angel, I need you to pick a letter, M or N.
Damn it.
There'll be no collusion in this draft. This is mock. This is not even draft 2.0. This is mock draft 99.0.
Okay, M.
Okay. Thank you, Angel. Malachi Stark, safety, Georgia.
Oh,
I love that kid.
Steal that from the Eagles.
That's why I used you.
I know. Damn it.
Complicit in your own demise. Kind of something I do all the time. There you go.
Oh, he's a great kid. I just like the name Malachi. I know, probably from Children of the Corn back in the day when I read the book. The leader of the kids that killed everybody, all the adults.
Oh, yeah.
The
movie was bad. The book was good.
The book was excellent.
Yes.
The book was excellent. It's like The Stand. The Stand, the book is unbelievable.
Another one.
Fucking 1 week series they did on TV 1 year for it was like, are you serious?
Yep.
This is worse than Dune.
The Rock. There you go.
The original Dune. All right, the pick is in.
Oh no, you said Dune, not Doom. I got you. Sorry about that.
Dune. All right, yeah.
I thought you said Doom. You said Doom.
No, I'm not a Dune person at all. All right, with the 20th pick for the Denver Broncos, here's Trevor Harris. What say you?
Bo Nix is banging on the door for a wideout, and he gets one. Matthew Golden from Texas.
Good pick.
Great pick there, young
That's
Trevor.
Good pick.
Yep.
Trevor might have a career doing this stuff.
Hey.
Too logical. Too logical.
There's a big name guy still there that I'm going to take for the Packers here coming.
The pick is in for me. Yes. Yes. I will be picking for the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21. And yes, as I've been predicting for the last couple of weeks, he's there. He has fallen. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado, will now be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And hey, Aaron, you seeing that? That's for you, buddy.
Hard Knocks on the phone already.
Hold on a second.
Have his hate speech ready about how the Steelers screwed his life up.
Okay. Hold on something. Aaron Rodgers is calling into the show. He wants to play for the Steelers now. So hold on. Yeah. There we go.
In the words of Eric Cartman, screw you, hippie.
HBO is on the phones right now with Pittsburgh Steelers for Hard Knocks.
Sure are.
Give me that.
Congratulations for me. Mike Tomlin. Mike. Yeah. Yes.
How do you think the meeting with Coach Prime and Tomlin will go?
I think they've already had a meeting. I think they.
That's my point.
I want to be a wall. I want to be on the wall for that meeting.
No question about it. That's the 21st pick. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback out of Colorado, goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, 22nd pick is in. Picking for the LA Chargers, new GM Angel Martinez. He recently was a GM for Seattle, and before that, Indy. Now he's a new GM for the LA Chargers. What say you, GM?
Yeah, since I get stuck with the West Coast as much as I make fun of him over there. But nonetheless, Coach Harbaugh needs still help on that O-line. And he loves to stick to his roots, and is exactly what's he going to do. From Michigan, it's going to be Colston Loveland, tight end.
Oh, you stole another coastal tight end, Michigan. Yeah.
You stole my pick, Angel, you dink. Here we go.
Sunk his battleship.
There we go.
You're sick, Mike. But there's no crying at the mock 99 draft. There's no crying here. You know, just take your lumps as they go. We don't go Aaron Rodgers on you. Jay Flannery will be picking for the 23rd pick overall for the aforementioned Green Bay Packers. What say you, GM Flannery?
We're going to take the Green Bay Packers are going to select the corner from the Texas Longhorns, Jahadi Barron.
Okay.
Good pick.
Angel stole my Colston Loveland of the Packers pick.
Sorry.
It's okay, Angel.
I looked in your book last
It's
night.
okay, Angel. You're now going to hell. I'm kidding. There you go.
No, you're not. Who isn't going to hell?
I sure as hell am, but
it's nice this time of year.
A little warm.
Is it humid?
Warmer than here for sure.
Depends what version you believe. It could be a lot of fun, or it could be all of it for a lot of trouble. I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
I understand. Like in the show Lucifer, there was which I thought was a really excellent show, by the way, very well done.
Very good show.
And there were kind of different versions of hell. One was like you're on a continuous loop of the worst day of your life. That would kind of suck.
Yeah.
So me like watching the Yankees win the World Series type of thing. There you go.
Exactly. By the way, Rick says, I find this more entertaining than a real draft. Thank you.
Oh, it is. Of course it is. It's going to be way more entertaining. And no commercials. And then a lot less commercials and a lot less jibber jabber. I'm a big jibber jabber this week. Picking at number 24 for the Minnesota Vikings is Trevor Harris. What say you?
Give me the you're going to take a running back because they've had a good running back since dominant since Adrian Peterson. Omarion Hampton of University of North Carolina, please.
Okay.
Very good pick. Very good pick.
Yep.
Trevor, you're consistently good picks. Good job.
Thank you.
All righty. The pick is.
I don't ever want to know where they found you. By the way, I don't ever want to know where they found you. Don't tell me. Making Cannonball Run references. Don't ever tell me where you found him. The crazy doctor in Cannonball Run. Pete's laughing. He knows.
Yeah. Good. And maybe
don't ever tell me where you found him. Don't ever tell me where you found him.
It may be one of the worst sequels ever in Cannonball Run 2 with Charles Nelson Riley. Just absolutely.
Yes.
You know.
But Telly Savalas saves the movie, though, Pete. Telly Savalas saves the movie. With the hitting the guy with the chair, the mall boss. Yes.
The pick is in for Houston. I got to think about this because I had some other names down here. That this is the
line, Pete.
25. No, don't. I don't need influence. I don't need influence. But okay, I was thinking O-line. I am going to take. Want to make sure he hasn't been taken yet. I am going to go with, even though he's a little banged up, I think he slid down a little bit. This guy can be a stud. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Good job, Pete.
Yeah.
God knows he needs to be a pro football player because he'll never get anything off that education.
Of course not. Well, you know me. It's irrelevant. I don't care about education. I don't. I'm not interested in education.
Anybody who goes to that school says the same thing. So there you go.
That's because they're always on High Street every weekend or every day usually.
Not a fan of education.
I know where they were when they played my team. They were on L Street, so for the fourth year in a row.
It is on the corner of High at the outer end, anyways.
What's the bar that Urban Meyer was in when he's filling up that girl's tuchus?
Oh God,
that never happened, Pete. What are you discussing? I know no idea what you speak of.
I saw it.
Such a classy school. I thought they had a higher standard. I guess not.
All right, let's see. Yes, we're getting close here. The 27th pick is in. The 26th pick. It is Angel Martinez picking for the L.A. Rams and Coach McVay.
Yes. Once again, I get stuck with another left coast team, but nonetheless, it is the Rams that are somewhat on a rebuild, and they got to figure out what to do. So, can't give them somebody super important, but He is up and coming, and I think he'll fit in just fine. From Ole Miss, quarterback Trey Amos for your
There you
LA
go.
Rams.
Okay.
Good pick.
Most cornerback.
He's got some rising stock talent.
Yes. All right. Now, as they say in, what do you call it? Raiders of the Indiana Jones, the last one, the Crusade movie for the
Last Crusade.
The Last Crusade. Jay Flannelly, choose wisely. Now you'll get 2 dings because you have 2 picks in a row here. Because we got to do this right.
I need 2 dings. Clearly, there you go.
All right. With pick number 27, here's Jay Flannelly for the Baltimore Ravens.
With the 2025 pick, Jay Flannelly selects for the team he likes the least in the entire NFL.
But that does not cloud your judgment.
No, I'd like to draft a water boy, but I can't. We're gonna go with Walter Nolan, Ole Miss, D lineman.
Yeah, Ole Miss is being on the board here.
The Ravens fans are just a watered down version of the Philadelphia fan. I'll say it.
Yeah, I mean, Angel just made a good point. He's like the 4th guy from Ole Miss drafted in the first round so far.
Look at Lane Kiffin. He's got NFL talent.
Unbelievable. Can't win a championship. But,
what kind of dumb team would fire him at 5 o'clock in the morning on a tarmac? Oh, wait a minute. That's the Raiders.
No, don't forget. He left Tennessee Vols too also.
Yeah, but that was a whole other thing. All right, next up is Jay again, picking for the Detroit Lions football team.
Well, if I was in charge, we'd be trading Jared Goff, but I'm not. So we're going to go hold on, he just threw another interception. The Detroit Lions select the steal of the draft, an outside linebacker defensive end from Tennessee, James Pierce.
Nice.
Wow. Not who I would have thought. Okay.
Was the number 1 pick in the draft going into this season. Then he took the season off.
Okay, very, very interesting there. Okay, as we move right along, we are nearly finished here. A few more picks to go. With the 29th overall pick and the Washington Commanders, here is Trevor.
The Washington football team. What's their name anyways? I can't figure it out.
Sanders.
They beat the Lions and Jared Goff.
They did beat the Lions.
Badly.
Cornerback out of Kentucky, Maxwell Hairston, by the way. They need coverage.
Very good pick.
And the corner they got from New Orleans couldn't even play until the playoffs. Get it together.
And then Mike Evans destroyed him. Lattimore.
Trevor just gave him a solid pick. Now we're screwed. Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate it.
Hey, I don't want to cloud anybody's judgment. I'm doing it fair and firm. Anyways.
All right, it's getting interesting, and this is getting down to the nitty gritty here. The pick is in though for me. I've got 2 picks in a row here. I might have to pivot a little bit because you guys have taken all my names. I'm trying to think. I don't want to double up here.
Andy Reid's throwing a
I have the
dartboard
Buffalo
right now.
Bills. I have the Buffalo Bills pick, and I am going to take. Want to make sure he wasn't taken yet. Nobody took Will Johnson yet, right?
Will's gone.
Yeah, he is gone.
Will's gone.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, he was going to pick him. He was gone at 14.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
Jesus.
I was going to take him next pick.
Yep. Hairston is gone. I'm trying to think. Who is out there.
Buffalo needs a lot of help.
No, I know. I'm trying to see who's actually available that we haven't taken yet. Grant, he's gone. Talk to him on your. Let me.
Hey Jay, is Pete going to lose his pick like the Vikings did in
No.
Pete. This is the voice of God, Pete. Look at Texas A&M defensive lineman.
No. I will not be influenced by anybody. But if you say you're God, you might have something there.
Jay, you mean Dumbo?
Listen to me, my son. Texas A&M defensive lineman. Jesus loves you.
Going to take
Do we trust players from that Colt school, Jay? Come on, let's be honest here.
Yeah, Vaughn Miller's a real bomb. Miles Jarrett's a real bomb. Yeah, I mean, really.
I got
I'm
it.
Colt
I don't know why you're
school.
thinking this before. With the 30th pick, the Buffalo Bills take on a Boston College edge rusher, Donovan Izunarku.
Damn it!
That is a great pick.
It's a great pick, Pete.
He was supposed to
You
be
were
there.
good. You were good not. You were good not to listen to God. Good job.
Don't listen to Dumbo Fisher over there. I heard another check just got cleared for him, by the way, since he played a coach at A&M.
Ozaraku is really good player.
He is the real deal. That kid is the real deal. All right, next up is me again. With the number 31st overall pick, the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's see, Kansas City.
Another plate of barbecue.
I want to make sure.
Hold on a second. Mahomes just got hit again. But he's better than Tom.
Hang on. Was Kenneth Grant taken?
No.
No, I'm taking him. Kansas City. Defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. That is my pick. About that.
That's going to help protect Patrick, but good job, Pete.
No, I'm going for the best player available at this point.
Say that to Pat Mahomes' ribs. Actually, he can open a ribs place when he gets broken in half again.
Kenneth Grant will have sacks that will put Mahomes in better field position to score easier touchdowns. That's my thinking.
And then Angels Eagles will break him in half. There you go. So,
yeah.
All right. So the defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Angel, I'm going to thank you again. I'm going to go watch that game again. I love watching them beat the bejesus out of Mahomes.
Jay, I watched it in 4K recently. It's even better in 4K.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I love
what Milton Williams did to him. When Milton Williams did to him, I can't believe he got up when he was extended. Yeah, it was so fun. I loved it.
I may have to get that picture whenever I get a new place. Anyways, put that on the wall.
All right,
it's so funny they don't even talk about Mahomes anymore. Continue. Go ahead.
The last pick is in for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 32nd pick in the first round, it is Angel Martinez picking for the Philadelphia Eagles. What say you, Angel?
Super Bowl champion Eagles, Peter.
Super Bowl champion Eagles.
That's right. The defending Super Bowl champions, two-time Super Bowl champions, are picking.
We don't care about the first one, Angel. Go.
Sure don't.
Let's get to the pick.
Was taken off the board, and he's still hanging around from Texas A&M because they're going to need some help on the defensive side and on the edge. Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M.
Okay.
One of the two payroll guys, the ends guys. Good pick, Angel.
Good pick.
All right. I don't need to recap all of this again, do I?
New listeners, you probably should anyway.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, just in case. Hope you enjoyed the first round there. Okay, here is our mock draft 99.0 here on the Pete Sheppard Show with guest celebrity pickers Jay Flannery, Trevor Harris, Angel Martinez, and me. All right. So each of us had 8 picks. Here's how it went. Number 1, Cam Ward. I'm just going to say that. I'm just saying the names. And I'm not going to go through.
Do it.
Sure. Number 1 overall pick, Tennessee, Cam Ward. Cleveland, Abdul Carter. 3, the Giants with Will Campbell. 4, Patriots, Travis Hunter. 5, Jacksonville, Ashton Genty. 6 for the Raiders, Mason Graham. 7 for the Jets, Kyle Warren, the tight end. 8 for Carolina, Jalen Walker. 9, New Orleans, Jackson Dart. 10 for Chicago, Kevin Banks. 11, San Francisco, Tate McMillan. 12 of Dallas, Tyler Booker. 13 for the Miami Dolphins, Armand Miembo, the offensive tackle from Missouri. 14 for Indy, Will Johnson. 15 for Arizona, Jahad Campbell. 16 for Arizona, Emeka Egbuka. For Arizona. Number 17 for Cincinnati, Mike Green. 18, Seattle, Gray. How do I say his last name? Zabalix?
Zubul, whatever the hell his name is. Just say the North Dakota guy.
North Dakota State guy. Number 19, Malachi Starks, a great safety out of Georgia to Tampa Bay. 20, Denver with Matt Golden. Pittsburgh selects Shedeur Sanders. Yes, he fell to 21, as predicted by me and picked by me.
And that could happen, by the way. That could happen.
That absolutely could happen.
I'm going to tweet out we had it here first on the Pete Sheppard Show.
I've had it here all week first, but he may not get drafted until tomorrow.
Imagine if that happened.
Yeah, may go mad on. He may charge on the NFL Network stage and start ranting. Which I am.
Well, you got to see if certain people are ahead of him. Like as an example, if Milroe goes ahead of Shedeur, he should go nuts.
Oh,
well,
that could happen. That could happen, by the way.
It could happen at 9. It could be Milroe or Dart.
Yes,
at 9.
Yes,
I'm not going to be surprised. All right, continuing real quick here. After Sanders goes to Pittsburgh, the Chargers take Colston Loveland. Green Bay, which are Heidi Barron, number 24, Minnesota, takes Hampton. I scribbled his name down.
Marianne Hampton.
Running back from North Carolina. Yep. Houston at number 25, Josh Simmons. The Rams at 26 take Trey Amos, the cornerback there. At 27, Baltimore selected Walter Nolan, right? Defensive lineman. Detroit at 28, James Pierce, the linebacker. 29, Washington takes Max Henderson. At 30, Buffalo, Donovan Izuyariuku from Boston College. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. I forget.
You actually did a good job.
Thank you. KC at 31 takes Kenneth Grant. And 32, the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles take Shimon Stewart from Texas A&M, the cornerback there. So there is a recap. Gentlemen, great job.
How about that?
That was a lot of fun. Great analysis. And I promise you, there'll be a trade or maybe even two, but we'll be pretty close to the Mel Kipers of the world when this is all said and done. If we get close to 7 of these right, and the first 4, well, this draft's a little bit different compared to some of the other ones because they think logically. Trevor taking Will Campbell at 3 is very intriguing. I love that because that means I get to take Travis Hunter, but we'll see. Gentlemen, great stuff. And what are y'all doing today? Be watching the draft and...
Watching the draft, watching playoff hockey. I was up late last night watching the end of that Stars-Avs game again.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, that was. Tyler Seguin.
I literally said he was going to be the game changer in that series anyways on the Upper Bowl podcast with anybody before anybody said he was.
The Landeskog thing was awesome. I mean, that was pretty cool.
That was cool. So
it was so somebody just asked about Malachi Williams from Georgia. He's one of these fringe first round guys. And Bill, the Patriots fan, asked how I became a Mets fan. I moved to New York when I was 8 years old, and my parents got divorced, so I would go visit my dad in New York when I was living in Boston, and he would take me to Mets games because we're not going to go to Yankees games. No. So I became a Mets fan in like 1981, and then they traded for Keith Hernandez and all these other guys. Dwight Gooden and Strawberry came up. So that's how I became a Mets fan.
Jay, my mom hates me because I'm not a Mets fan or a Yankee fan, so that's I wanted to live a little longer. I chose that team.
Trevor, what's your favorite baseball team? Cubs?
Chicago Cubs, yeah.
Are you from Chicago?
No, I'm from Connecticut, actually. That's the funnier part.
You picked the Cubs. You're like me. I respect that. Good job.
I did that. My dad went to Chicago a lot for work anyways, and plus we saw.
Are you a Blackhawks and Bulls fan too, or just okay? You like
Panthers fan.
What are your other teams?
Dallas Stars, Philadelphia Eagles.
All over the place. What?
Wow, you're weird.
Well, the Rangers sucked when I was growing up, anyways, and everyone went into school where it was like Red Wings fans and Avs fans. Like, I'm gonna choose the Stars to piss everybody off, anyways. So.
And everyone, Madonna and Darian Hatcher and Bud Belfour.
Yeah, I actually had Ralph Strangis on the pod last week, the former Stars TV voice on.
You weren't a Minnesota North Star. You weren't even born when they played in Minnesota.
No, I wasn't even. I wasn't even.
Cicerelli and company back then.
Yeah, that's when they drafted Madonna first overall when they were still in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Yuri Letnin too, and Sergei Zubov, the worst trade in Ranger history, getting rid of Sergei Zubov for Luke Robitaille. How about that?
You know, he's got no knees left. He's got no ACLs in both his knees, supposedly. Sergei Zubov.
Yeah, he actually he was like KHL Player of the year after he left.
Yeah, and he had no ACLs in his knees. He was playing in the KHL with no ACLs in his knees. He was like the best player in the league. He scouts now. He scouts now. He's out here all the time in Michigan with the USA Hockey and. Yeah, I mean, these guys are always around because we have USA Hockey in Plymouth, and I'm 2 blocks from Michigan's rink. So all these scouts are here. Scotty Bowman's here all the time.
Okay.
Mike Keenan, Herb Brooks when he was still alive, unfortunately.
Yeah. My buddy was on those USA junior teams. Ryan Haggerty, that was one of my buddies. Yeah,
okay.
He was.
How recently?
Early 2010s. He was on those 08, 09,
My
09.
friend Pete Rowe, his son was on one of those teams too. I can't remember. Won a medal. Our junior hockey.
So if you watch it, you just mentioned you're watching the NHL playoffs. About 10 years ago, the best line on the USA team was Austin Matthews centering Matthew Tkachuk and what's the other guy's name?
Brady Tkachuk.
Oh, no, not Brady. No.
Troy Terry.
He's kicked around. He was on Winnipeg. He's kicked around. I'm choking.
Kyle
I'm
Connor?
forgetting on the. No. Kyle's a Michigan guy here played with Dylan Larkin and Wierenski. He's basically like a Ryan Donato type. He's kicked around the league.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll remember this. Austin Matthews, Tkachuk, and oh my God, he's a.
Speaking of Austin Matthews, the pain starts tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs in their annual choke. It should have happened in Game 2 where they were thoroughly outplayed and somehow Max Domi scored in overtime. But fear not, Maple Leafs fans, the series will get a lot closer after the Senators.
Hey, I need Toronto to win so I could sell my tickets for the second round for the Florida Panthers anyways. So let's have the choke in the second round. Trevor wants to make a little money here from the Maple Leafs fan.
By the way, Florida looked very good the other day. It's when Tkachuk. I mean, immediately once I saw that he was playing, boom, shekels on them.
I was producing that game. That game was wild. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Absolutely, and it should be wild tonight too. Game 2 of that one as well.
Hey, at least it's a 6:30 start. At least, can we be happy about that?
Yeah, thank you for you guys on CBS.
By the way, next year's NFL draft in 2026 will be at Trevor's Place, sponsored by Mike McDaniels. So everybody look forward to that. And Jay Froese.
Get out of here.
This will be his walk-up music. I can't wait to hear from Mike McDaniel tomorrow. Hopefully we will. Hopefully there'll be some sound.
Hey, the third guy in the line was Jack Roslovic. Jack Roslovic was the third guy on the line.
All right.
That was the third guy.
All right. You guys have been awesome. Enjoy the draft tonight. Let's see. What can let's go out with some. Trevor Harris, Jay Planley, Angel Martinez. Great stuff today. Duncan Dad checked in early from Lambeau. How awesome was that?
Yeah.
That was fantastic. He had a better view and a better seat than the idiots at ESPN for their morning show in the darkness, broadcasting to nobody. Crazy.
Because Duncan Dad brought donuts. He gave him donuts. That's how he got his seat.
At least they spend money on like TNT putting their announcers in a studio, just calling off the game off the monitor.
Yeah, I know.
So, I'm gonna Pete. You love it when I break news. I'll break something for you.
Okay.
We will have the schedule release show on the NFL by May 15th. More than likely, May 13th will be released, but May 15th will be the last day it will be out.
Which day? And that's what I know because I heard May 13th, 14th, or 15th as well a couple of weeks ago. The 15th was on what, a Thursday?
Yeah. Thursday night, baby.
So if you understand, the NFL likes to do an event every month.
Absolutely.
Outside of June. Because July is when training camp starts. So June will be their slow month. So they need somebody to do domestic violence or get arrested or something to be in the news.
You got the Miami Dolphins. Think of that right
now. There you go. They have Tyreek Hill, who's a human headline.
Yeah.
So
GoFundMe page for Tyreek Hill. Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great and safe rest of your Thursday. Enjoy the draft. And this was awesome. It was a lot of fun. And we will talk to you soon.
Are we going to do the NBA draft next time?
No.
No!
No.
No, hard no.
No.
That's not in my contract. No.
You guys have a
Have a
great
good one,
day.
boys. Enjoy the draft.
Take
All
care.
right.
Enjoy the draft.
Angels Super Bowl champions, baby. Get out of here. I got to roll.
All right.
See you,
Thanks,
fellas.
Jay. Thanks.
Later.
Thanks to all you guys. Jay Planley up in Beamsworth in Ann Arbor, and Trevor Harris down the road a piece at the WQAM in Miami.
Yummers.
Great games. Deborah, thank you. Girls draft. Girls what? What sport? No. They just had the WNBA draft. I know like 2 people. Anyway, Angel, anything else going on today?
I would say Thursday. Duncan Dad should be hopefully coming live from Lambeau at about 1 o'clock, which should be 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock his time, as long as he remembers. And possibly we're trying to figure out maybe a live show tonight,
Awesome.
depending where he's going to set up.
Awesome.
So we shall see. I'll keep everybody posted.
Fantastic. All right. Chara's mom says, great job. And no, thank you.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Good stuff. We'll see how well we do against Missouri Mel Kiper, assuming there's no wacko trades, which we know are going to happen. Anyway, okay. Have a great and safe rest of your Thursday, everybody. Enjoy the draft. Enjoy the NBA playoffs and Stanley Cup action tonight, MLB as well. We'll recap it all tomorrow. By the way, Rick Horrow will join us at 8:30 tomorrow. Got confirmation from him yesterday. The sports business guru hasn't been on with us in a while because he's been traveling to parts unknown, Narnia, Australia, other places like that. So we'll get Rick Horrow's reaction tomorrow to the draft and what's going on in the sports business world as well. Angel, thanks, my man. I'll be in touch later today. Have a great and safe rest of your day, everybody. I am Pete. See ya. Have a good one.